Hello, everybody, and welcome to podcast 62.
62!
I'm Ian,
Finally.
and I'm obviously leading the podcast today because it's new and it's 2024, and we're trying something new. And obviously, I'm joined by my co-host Gary,
Hello, everyone.
and obviously on my left is my buddy Andy.
What's up, everyone?
So, I was about to say right
For our podcast listeners, he just had to check his hand to know which way he was looking.
my right hand, but he's on my left, man.
Welcome to 2024.
2024.
It's already
man.
going really well, isn't it?
Podcast 62. We've come such a long way. We were bound to start
Yeah,
losing it.
look how fluid it is.
We got it all down, man. But today's podcast, we will obviously be catching up in the first section, and then in the second part, we will be doing a counting down of our top 10 picks of 2023, and then in the third part, we will be answering all of your questions. So I suppose because I'm leading, I'll go first with what I've been up to since the last time we were on.
Why not?
Sure.
Christmas came along.
We had a Christmas.
Ate far too much, drank far too much, sat around and didn't do a lot, which was kind of balancing the...
You're doing all of our catch-ups, are you?
Well, yeah. That's kind of what we all did as
This
well.
shit's going to echo, that's all I'm saying.
But I did watch a few things, which I know is a fucking shocker because I don't ever watch anything more than cartoons
I was
and
going to say, you
wrestling.
told us you haven't watched anything.
That is true.
I watched a few
You come
things.
kicking the door in.
We had family down over Christmas. My granddaughter came down. She wanted to watch a bunch of films, and I watched a film with her that she wanted to watch on Netflix, and that people were talking about. And so I was kind of like, you know what? Let's watch it. I'm glad I did.
Was it Saltburn?
No, it fucking wasn't. I'm not fucking talking about a fucking stupid ass movie like that with some stupid ass scenes just to keep people talking. I'm talking about the stupid atrocity that was Fall. Two girls climb a giant rusted tower in the middle of the desert and
Did
get
you tell me
stuck
about this?
all the way at the top. I told you in the pub at Christmas.
No, I remember, but I'm pretty sure you told me about this.
Gary watched
really
it.
Oh,
like
New
it.
Year's Eve, right? We were in the pub on New Year's Eve and you were ranting about it then.
I was ranting about it then because
remember
I
Oh, shitface then.
I sat down to watch this, like I said, with my granddaughter. I had no real hope that it would be actually any good. One, it's on Netflix, which is going to kind of contradict something I'm going to say in a minute.
So much
as well.
of my top 10 is Netflix.
Yeah. But it was just so fucking stupid. And what I mean by it being fucking stupid was these two girls climbed this rusted tower in the middle of the desert all the way to a really, really... It's like, how many fucking miles up?
Well, it's not a mile, but it's a long way up.
It's a fucking really, really fucking long way up, right?
Yeah.
And they get stuck up there
You
because
should write the DVD
the
cover.
ladder is so rusted and so shit that it collapses. And
The whole film is basically, it plays on your fear of heights, and it uses every
Yeah.
cinematic
You know
trick
what?
in the book.
yes, it does.
And as someone who does
does.
suffer from a fear of heights,
I
I almost
agree.
turned the film off because I was having an anxiety near panic attack watching it.
Which is
It was that effective.
Which is fair enough because that is the only effective thing about the movie is that they went right. They're on top of this tower. Everybody's going to be scared of heights. Let's not bring in any other fucking aspect of elemental danger in this desert.
Well, they did.
No,
there
they
was, a,
didn't.
there was a very angry vulture.
Oh yes, there was a very angry vulture. They're in the middle of this fucking desert.
Why am I getting cat's eyes
On
vibes
top
with
of
that
this,
pigeon?
on top of this
He's
fucking
walking around the
tower,
building.
they climb up this tower. It must take them an hour, maybe a couple, because it fucking edits for them to climb all the way to the top in the middle of the desert with the sun shining down on them. They don't get heat stroke. They don't get dehydrated.
Is there a shot with like the sun moving over a rock and a scorpion?
No, that was in the one. That was in the movie that we did do a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it's a desert. You got to film a scorpion
Fucking-
moving past a
It was
rock.
the
Surely,
opening scene, actually.
They were up there for like 2 to 3 days, right? And they are just exposed. They are fucking exposed to the elements, and it has no fucking effect on them. Like nighttime comes, the temperature in the desert drops so dramatically that to be just
the vultures
sat,
get angry.
just to be sat on a fucking tower in the middle of the desert in your vest and shorts and not get cold. They didn't even have a fucking blue lip. They didn't even the bottom lip Didn't even quiver to go, oh, I'm feeling a little bit cold here. Oh, I wish it was daytime because that was really hot. 3 fucking days this girl was stuck up there. She barely fucking gets hungry. She barely gets dehydrated. She barely gets hot or fucking cold. The most she gets fucking scared of is the fact that she's going to be sitting on this tower for the rest of her fucking life and nobody's going to know because, oh, I'm going to go out in the middle of the desert with my friend and not tell anybody where we are, which is the most common fucking trope for these movies where 2 people get trapped in something. The fucking camera angle at the beginning where the boyfriend just happens to look at her friend, blatantly scream, cheater, in my face. So spoilers, when it turns out that actually her friend, one of the girl's friends, is sleeping with the now dead boyfriend.
That's The Descent, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I was thinking that as well. I was thinking that while I was watching, like, they stole that from the fucking Descent. Because, amazing.
But this is the Ascent.
Yes!
So it's like...
Yes, it was
but
the
ascent. They're
ascent.
going to descend very quickly when they
She
fall.
does descend very quickly because her friend ends up.
And then is it a dream that she fell?
No,
she escapes?
No, she dies, but the dream is that she still sees her friend towards the end of the movie, but her friend's not really there and had died earlier. So she gets her phone. The rope that they use.
Wait, sorry, so she does have like a fucking...
She does have
just like in The Descent.
just like in The Descent. The rope that they use to get up and down this tiny little section changes length so many times through the movie. It was like they had just different size rope for different situations. And there's a point where she's just like, oh, I need to contact my dad, but the signal up here won't get out because my phone's not got a signal. I don't know how that works. So if I pre-post the message, then shove the phone into the corpse of my friend and push it off a ledge so it falls all the way down, then when it hits the floor, the message will be sent to my dad. And he, oh, by the way,
Played by Negan.
the dad was Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Ah.
Yeah, I said that as well. I went, huh. The dad's Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I didn't see that in the trailer or any of the posters that Netflix stuck out. Why? Oh, because he's only in 2 sequences that last about 20 minutes for each sequence.
Does the message that she jammed inside, mate, please tell me the text is, I thought they smelled bad on the outside?
No.
the
It was
waste.
more like the dad sees the message pop up and then drives out there and goes, oh, where is she? Where is she? Oh, look, it's a dead body. Oh, she must be up there. And
So it worked.
Does it?
It shouldn't.
Cool.
It shouldn't. It was so shit. It was so stupid.
I really enjoyed it.
Who wanted to watch this?
Miley Grandor. You want to watch it?
So did you just ruin her Christmas ranting at her about this movie all the way
the
through?
funny
Was
thing,
this you all the way through the
man,
movie?
that's the thing. That's why I also want to talk about it. Is that she wanted to watch The Exorcist. Now, obviously, Miley is
Like the
my
original?
granddaughter, the original. She is. She's kind of coming up to
14,
be
right?
Yeah, coming up to
Same-
being a
same age
teenager.
as Jessica.
So it was the idea of obviously, you know what? If she wants to watch these horror movies, watch them with her. You know, because we all watched them when we were young.
Yeah, we
so
watched The Shining the other day.
So let's just get through it.
Parenting.
When we watched The Exorcist, she really didn't appreciate it that much. But then we watched Rec 2 because she'd watched Rec.
I
and she wanted
remember
to watch
saying,
Rec 2. She watched Rec 2 and she actually appreciated The Exorcist more. So then she was like, Granddad,
She was like, wow, compared to this piece of shit, this is really good.
Granddad, let's watch 4 because I really got excited. So I was like, let's watch 4. And what made it even special is that she found it more stupid. Because, yes, the only fear element
United in hatred.
The only fear element was they were on this tower. Nothing else was there to be scary. And like you said, if you're not afraid of heights, we talked about this. Frozen was much better because they filmed it on the
that
side.
soundtrack, man. She starts singing
they
Let It
filmed
Go.
it on the They filmed that on the side of a mountain, didn't they?
They did, yeah. They
filmed-
actually went to the location.
Full,
Yeah.
they built a tower. And so when you could tell when they were in certain scenes that the element they weren't actually being beamed on by a sun for like 6 or 7 hours at once.
Yeah.
It was
Ironically, this is going to be a theme actually that runs through my top 10 of like, it's amazing what happens when, you actually shoot on fucking location, isn't
and
it?
not in a green cube. But
There's
I
one
mean,
that I've
just
got
to
an
close,
exception, but still.
just to close. Yeah.
I really enjoyed 4, and again, I think it plays on the fear of heights masterfully well. Yes, the dialogue, the scripts, the characters are tropey and cliched, but that's not what I was there for. The fact that they were competent enough to carry the film, And of course, the surprise cameo towards the end. I enjoyed it.
At the beginning, he was in the beginning.
At the beginning, sorry, yeah. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't think it's a great film, but I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that the studio has done very, very well for them. Fall's done really well on Netflix. They've managed to expand their film company. It's actually a British film company that made it, in partner with an American company, and now they're working on Fall 2. Basically, they want to... And now, basically, they want to take the premise and just do it again, but with some more money.
Then make sure those elements work, because
and the elves can be the 2 in Fall 2.
You cannot have two
Poster
girls.
makes itself.
You cannot have two girls go out into the middle of the desert to climb some stupid tower and not think about what's going to happen if somebody goes to steal their car, which blatantly happens.
Listen. The problem is, mate, is all I'm hearing is your version of like a disaster movie like that is they drive out to the tower and just go, fuck this is dangerous, and leave, and then credits roll.
Bro,
so,
watch it and come back next podcast and either tell me it was the most amazing fucking shit you ever watched, or you turned it off.
Now I'm gonna just to wind
Next
you up.
film on my list that I watched, Linda and I have been on a bit of a sci-fi kind of binge last couple of Fridays, and we watched the creator on Disney
fuck,
Plus.
I watched this.
You didn't enjoy it.
No, I didn't.
Visually, it was very nice.
It's great.
Visually, it was very nice. It was predictable as hell.
Oh yeah,
It
and the
looked
story
like
just...
Bloom
And the
story,
story,
all over
yeah,
it.
and the story just didn't hold my interest. Like, as soon as certain things happened, if you haven't seen it, obviously go out. We're not going to massively spoil it, but as soon as the movie started, I was like, in my head, oh, if this is who they're saying this is, that's who I would make it.
Yep.
And that person turns out to be it.
Yup.
And if they're gonna have like a special character turn up, I would make that person the special character. Oh, lo and behold,
What's the name of the lead guy, the lead actor?
Donald
he was in
Washington,
Tenet, right?
Yeah, he was in.
Yeah.
I think Donald Washington.
Mate, some of the robots that look like the ones
He's in
from
Black
Chappie.
Kingsman as well.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, Chappie as well.
Yeah, some of the robots that look like they were out of Chappie, the ones with the sheer faces,
faces,
had more emotion than he did in that movie.
Yeah.
He did emote as much as he did in Tenet, and I was like, is that what they were
Which
trying to go
weren't
for?
much.
In that, to be fair, either, yeah.
No, but for Tenet it works. Him just trying to apply it in the creator, I was
Yeah,
just
because
like,
everyone was just trying to work out what the fuck was going on in Tenet.
you've got to watch it like 3 or 4 times.
Easily.
It wasn't great, but at the same time, if I was, say, 12 years old and didn't have the experiences with sci-fi movies that I have, I would probably really enjoy it.
It's a visual feast, yeah.
Visual feast. But a bigger visual feast that I watched that was on Netflix, Dune Part 1.
Yeah.
Hey, I finally watched Dune.
Nice.
It was
Oh.
amazing.
It looked great.
Yeah. And it does play out very, really, really fucking nice.
No, I don't think it did.
Why?
It was basically, and this is the problem I got with a lot of movies. It was a part 1.
Yeah.
So it was like, here's
It
this
had
guy, this
no
guy, this
real
guy, this guy,
ending.
this guy, this guy.
Yeah,
How much do you want to know about him? Not fucking much.
Yeah, but
Anyway, come back for part 2 and 3.
Right.
That's the
Right,
majority
I
of
know, I
that
get,
movie.
I get what you're meaning, but you knew that walking in there.
Yeah.
So why watch it,
wait,
and why
wait.
not just wait until part 2 comes out so you can do both of them back to back?
Okay.
And you don't have to wait for that.
All right. So do you want these films to make any money? Would you- like,
Mate, no.
The whole point.
See, I don't
the
care
whole
about
point
that
of the
because when
movie-
Dune
the
came
whole
out in
point
the
of the
cinema,
movie
I
is
didn't
you're
go
gonna
to see
go.
it. I didn't go
Right.
and see Dune in the cinema because part 2 is not going to be out for another 3 or 4 years. So what's the point of me rushing to the cinema to watch it on the big screen? I'll wait until I get to watch it at home. And I knew that going into part 1. I was already prepared for it because Dune 1984, was it? With
Yeah.
Something like that.
Carl McLachlan and Sting.
Yeah.
Sting.
Now, that movie is a visual feast as well, but they cut out so much and they rush it so quickly to just do the pinnacle points of the book that the film is a mismatch. So I already knew walking into Dune Part 1 that they would have to do the explanation of Paul, the explanation of House Arrakis, the explanation of House Harkonnen, the little battle on Dune. You know, Paul would have to be separated from his family. The whole Oscar Isaacs bit was worth it alone because that was visually just amazing to watch him, crack the tooth. Sorry.
Hey, it looked great.
I've still got my cough from fucking winter time, so that's why I'm trying to
Damn.
drink beer free. Yeah, visually it looked great. It was better than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Visually.
What, the most recent ones?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as a counter to that, so many people complain that
Make it a chick, make her gay.
so many people complain that Star Wars, oh yeah, it's a space opera, it's not going to need drama. Dune does the exact same thing. It's just government houses arguing over a planet. It's just space opera all over.
I know
again.
you didn't. Did you watch Rebel Moon?
No.
Yeah,
I'm not
dude.
interested in Rebel Moon, no.
And that was a visual feast.
Fucking hell, man. Why? This is the thing. When I watched Creator the other day, and I watched Dude. Dude's got potential. I said that.
part
Now
two
listen,
is
wait.
gonna
And
really
I said this because we talked about it. You said it was one that, you really recommended that I should watch in the cinema and everything like that. And I said,
Yeah.
man, I know that it's a part one, so I
Yeah.
agree. I was like, I don't see the point in watching it, but. Again, it was on, and I was like, "Yeah, fuck, I'll watch it and stuff like that." And it was okay as a film, visually great.
Yeah.
But then again, I've watched that this month. I watched The Creator, and I fucking watched Rebel Moon.
Oh,
See,
I'm not
it's
doing
been
Rebel
pretty
Moon.
crap. Yeah.
When
I'm
the
not doing Rebel Moon.
fuck did sci-fi get so fucking bad? I used to love sci-fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rebel Moon, and now I know, and I didn't know until after I watched it about the whole thing of oh, there's actually the 3-hour Snyder version that's coming to Netflix soon. I'm like, well, that
Yeah.
makes sense because this fucking movie.
Yeah. Had no character.
One, if you took all the fucking slow-mo out of it, you
Yeah.
might have had time to fit some fucking
Oh,
dialogue
hell
in.
yes.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
Do you know what I mean?
It was slow mo for slow mo.
Sorry,
sake.
1 second. Guy in the chat, it's not quite Seven Samurai in space. It's fucking Bug's Life in space.
Nah, yeah.
Which is Seven Samurai.
Which is, yeah.
I know.
But it's just better to compare
Battle
to Bugs
Beyond the
Life
Stars
for
is
how you really feel about it.
Battle Beyond the Stars is better than Rebel Moon. I don't understand what the big excitement for Rebel Moon was.
Because it's Zack Snyder and
Huge-
it's his
huge
first,
cast.
Right.
and he wanted to do
Dude,
Star
Games
Wars,
Workshop gonna
is-
sue
and they
him.
said no.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, there was loads of Games Workshop like flags and banners and
It was the fact that
imagery.
even one of them, because they called it obviously the motherland, or
Yeah.
the mother,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
it's called.
I don't
and
know,
then,
I haven't watched
and
it.
then someone actually called it the Imperium, and I was like, "Hey, did you drop that by accident?" Because you were just looking around, mate. The second that the fucking dick-shaped ships came out of the giant vaginas in space in the
Yeah.
first scene, I was like, "It's so Zack Snyder." Isn't it?
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's a rape. Yeah, there's the attempted rape. It's Zack
yeah.
Snyder movie.
Before you go crazy though, let me just do my last movie, and
Sorry,
then you
bud,
guys
you
can
go
jump
ahead.
into your movies. The
It's
last
another sci-fi movie, though.
last movie that I watched, which was on Netflix as well, because I was going to buy it on DVD, but I thought, you know what, I'll watch it first before I buy it, and I'm definitely going to buy it now. It was actually more fun than all the past 3 movies that I watched, even Dune, and totally better than fucking 4, was Sonic 2.
Okay.
I
I
watched-
watched that one.
I didn't watch
with
that
Knuckles. It's got Knuckles.
Oh no, I haven't.
And Tails.
No, I haven't watched that one.
You know
yet.
what?
one Sonic movie was enough. I watched it
No.
just for Jim Carrey, and I was
Yeah, but that's
satisfied.
it. Jim
I know,
Carrey's
but I was
in the
satisfied.
sequel, and
like maybe if like 5 years from now, I'm like, you know what, Jim Carrey's not retired, and I need a new movie. I'll watch Sonic 2.
that's what I'm saying. I wasn't too excited to watch Sonic 1 because it looked stupid. The whole thing about how the Hedgehog looked online and the big kick up about getting the
They
special
changed
effects. You know, James Marsden.
It looked good by the time it got
It
there.
did, yeah.
Looked like Sonic at least.
He's not the best actor in the world, so he gets a lot of these parts.
That's a statement.
Yeah, but the funny thing was, Sonic 1 came out at the same time as Hop. And it was basically him in the same role in both movies, where he has this imaginary creature that he's got to do.
They come out at the same time.
It's pretty much the same year, I think it was. I mean,
Wow,
you
Hop
can, you
feels
can
like, because I watched Hop with a kid, that feels like it was fucking. way
check it out. I
before
might
that.
be
no
wrong, but
idea.
like I said, the plot lines just seemed exactly the same to me. Where
That
this
I
guy ends up with this imaginary creature. I watched Sonic 1, and I thought, you know what, that really does work. They've got the magic rings, they've got Green Hills, they've got Mushroom Zone. They've even managed to get somehow Jim Carrey to be, at the moment, the best Dr. Robotnik we've ever had. So then when Sonic 2 came out, I was
Well,
like,
yeah.
you know what? I want to see Sonic 2. I want to see more Jim Carrey. I want to see more Sonic. I'm a big Knuckles fan. I watched the film all the way through.
Sorry.
Yes, Knuckles.
He's always been a big fan of his Knuckles.
You know, all right, it is a bit predictable if you're going to sit there as an adult, 40, 50 years old and go, I know how this movie's going to go. But if you're like me and you go, you know what? It's a Saturday fucking morning. I've got my coffee. I'm barely awake. Let's watch
Yeah, I mean,
Sonic.
how much do you really want out of a Sonic movie other than make the blue hedgehog run fast?
That's it.
Make him run
Make
really
the
fast,
Knuckles
jump on
punch
things.
them. Man, when Tails just goes, hi, I'm Tails. Do you know why they call me Tails? And Sonic goes, because you got 2 tails? And Tails is like, yeah, how did you know? I was like, I got this movie.
Did you see the casting news for the third one, though, about who's going to play Shadow?
No.
Hayden Christensen.
Wow.
Which I was like, fuck! Yes!
Dr. Sonic.
I was like, okay.
Also, before I jump off to one of these guys, as a pre-warning, do not, by any fucking means, do not watch the Asterix and Obelisk movie, which is on Netflix, the live action one.
Okay.
It's fucking.
That's quite an old one as well, isn't
No.
it? Is there a new
It's
one?
a new one. They go to the
I wouldn't watch any
called
fucking
Asterix and
non-animated
Obelisk
Asterix and Obelix.
in the Forbidden Kingdom, where they go to China. It was fucking bad. It was kind of racist in certain points as well. You guys, what's new with you?
Kind of want to watch this Asterix and Obelix.
Yeah, just left
Fucking
us hanging
bad
on that
memory.
one.
I mean, I'll go actually because mine's gonna be real quick.
Sure, yeah, go for it.
I mean, we had, like I said, we had Christmas and everything. That was great. I'm
Yeah.
now sober because I drank way too fucking much. So
Sober for how long now?
I haven't had a drink since 2023, bro.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
yeah, I always do it at the start of the year. I always come off the booze for a couple of
Nice.
months just to like try and remember what planet I'm on.
Hmm?
But other than I did catch up with Dune. I did watch this like Rebel Moon and stuff that was coming out. But I did get a chance to. I wanted to like play a couple of like random games. And I ended up playing Rise of the Tomb Raider on Games Pass.
Nice.
Oh,
Is
and
that
I've
the
slept on
first
that.
one or the
I
second?
think that's the first after the initial remake,
Yeah.
Tomb Raider. I
Okay.
think that's the first because then Shadow of the Tomb
That's
Raider
right.
is the
That's the
next
third one. Yeah.
Dude, fucking, it was excellent. Like,
Okay,
for a
Shadow's the
game
only one
from-
I've not played.
Well, for a game from 2015, 16, I was like,
Yeah.
this totally fucking holds up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the combat was excellent, the traversal was excellent, everything about it. The fact that it made me want to, like, like,
Go
yeah,
tomb raiding.
I'll fucking I'll take the time and fucking, there's something over there off the beaten path. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
go fucking do it.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah, I thought the
a lot of
cinematics
time when I
worked
play
really
games
well for
now-
the storytelling.
Yeah, like a lot of time when I play games now, it's sort of like I ain't got time to do all the fucking extra. I just want to get through the storyline and enjoy it and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
But
yeah,
did
yeah,
you
that
feel
was-
the actual urge to go explore a
man.
little bit and
It's
do
really
some
good. All the-
hunting
all
and
the
crafting
different-
and build up
the
the...
different environments
Yeah.
that you end up in, the
I
travel.
loved watching
was great.
Linda play it. She was well depth into
Yeah.
this. I like that.
I very nearly bought Shadow of the Tomb Raider because it was on
Yeah.
sale. I just was like, no, I pay for Games Pass.
For me,
It'll be on
it's
there.
it's also like part of a larger conversation about video games and their remakes, because Tomb Raider was a successful remake. You know, God of War was
Yeah,
a
it was.
successful remake. The Resident Evil's been successful remakes. There's been lots of really good, good reboots for video games. It's a complete contrast to movies. It really is.
Funny, innit?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
It's it's great. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. But other than that, I think just the movies that we've mentioned is all I've caught. Oh, last night I fucking binged Masters of the Universe.
Oh, me too.
Revolution.
2 episodes
Well,
back to
on
back.
Netflix.
I watched
I haven't
all of
watched
You watched all of it.
I
haven't watched all of it.
I stayed up.
Damn.
I
Was it good?
Well, I was very
Matt,
centered.
Man, we watched the fucking.
I was extremely. I'm not
fucking
drinking,
first
but I was
series.
extremely centered when I watched it.
I really
it's so
enjoyed
good.
that first series so much. When they announced the second series coming on Netflix, I was like,
Pacific. What? You talking about?
I thought you were talking Master Universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Masters of the Air.
Oh no, sorry.
Oh, no. We're talking-
Master Universe.
Go back to sleep, go back to sleep, Gary.
Revolution. This one.
No, Revelation.
Revelation's the first one. Revolution's this
Revolution's this one, yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Fucking dude, the fact that they bring like William Shatner in, he's so new. I don't want to spoil it. It's literally just.
Well,
dropped.
I mean,
But-
Hordak's in it.
We know Hordak's in it
Dropping
because he
Hordak's
was in
in it.
like the second one, but it's the fact of William Shatner, the character that he plays.
Kirk.
Yeah, yeah, he plays Kirk in it. Having a conversation with Mark Hamill is like,
Oh,
That's
yeah,
cool.
Kirk
you're like,
talking about-
oh,
Man, I mean, after the first season where fucking Evil Lynn straddled Skeletor in a chair, you know, you're just like, you
No,
either
but
like
there's,
Masters Universe or you don't, and if
there's-
you don't, get the fuck out.
how, have you watched any episodes of the new one?
No, like I said,
mate,
it came out on
it's,
Thursday, and I was ready to watch
There's
it. But I had
so
no
many
chance yet.
references specifically to the toys in it. That's like, I don't know if it's in the trailer. It's not really a spoiler, but like, do you remember like the one of him where he used to wear the armor with the He-Man symbol on it?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you'd flip it, and it would be like it'd be battle damaged,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you flip it. He does that. Like it gets smashed, and he just whoop, whoop, changes it. And I was just like, yay!
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
man.
You see a vision of Eternia in it, which
Okay.
is like, and if you do know, like I was obsessed with those toys when I was a kid, and something I could never get. I saw once in a fucking magazine that I think ironically it was actually in a Ninja Turtles comic. You know how they
Okay.
all like,
Yeah, yeah,
advertise
yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
And it was the Eternia playset, which if you Google, you
Yeah.
see, and it's basically this one huge tower and these other two smaller towers with this stuff on it. You see that in like this sort of vision.
That's
Yeah.
pretty
And it's like,
cool.
It's amazing. brings back all the fucking happy toy memories. It's the best. So yeah, it was great, and voice talents are amazing. The animation is still fucking just balls out top notch.
Is he still
you
Kevin
enjoyed the
Smith?
first one? Yeah, I don't. Do you know what? I don't know about how much he wrote. His name's on it as producer and that. I don't know what he wrote on it
Because he's not getting any backlash this time, man, is he?
No, apparently, the internet's not out to get him for this one.
Yeah,
I give it a fuck.
I think they're too busy with everybody else.
But oh man, I loved what he did with Teela in that first series, and a lot of people didn't. I did.
Yeah, they were like, He-Man's
what she does in this one as well is like even fucking.
Does she straddle a chair?
She doesn't straddle a chair.
Ah, messed out.
She gets her Cobra armor.
Oh, she gets her Cobras out.
Fucking buff.
Gary's turn.
I gotta rewatch it. Though.
Oh, Masters of the Air. it's Tom Hanks, Spielberg. It's basically Band of Brothers, but
in the sky.
In the sky.
Yeah,
5 miles up over enemy territory, bombing during the daylight.
Matt Damon in it. It's Matt Damon in it as well.
It's only been 2 episodes so far. He's not appeared. He's not appeared yet. I know that they do have quite a stellar cast.
We're in Oppenheimer.
And pretty much just like Band of Brothers, like I think all of the actors in Masters of the Air, you're going to see them in films and TV shows for the next 30 years. I think they're all really, really talented. All of them come together very well. The storytelling, it's already so much better than the Pacific. It's on par at the moment with Band of Brothers, so it's really engaging. And once an episode ends, I'm just like, oh, I need the whole show right now. I was super excited. Like the whole thing's out. I was like, I thought it was just 2 episodes.
What's it on? Because
it's on Apple TV, so it's their a huge promotion for them.
He's not
as
watching
well.
it on Apple TV.
9 people are subscribed.
9 people watching Apple TV.
Yeah.
But one of the things that I did actually took some time out last week to play a board game called Oathsworn. And I don't know if you ever, back in the day, before the internet, when you had adventure books that were,
I still have adventure.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
Choose Your Own Adventure.
I still have.
That's where Games Workshop
Pretty
started.
much, yeah.
Steve Jackson, Ian Livingstone,
yeah.
man. That's how they
So-
fucking made their way.
Oathsworn
Death Trap Dungeon,
is
baby.
21 chapters split into 2 parts. The first 2 hours is pick your own adventure storytelling, and then after that it's a boss fight or a mob fight on one board. And then there's about 2 hours of fighting this boss with cards and dice and miniatures, and then it's back to the story. And the story is also narrated. I can't remember his name. It's something Cosmos. He was one of the actors in Game of Thrones.
Cosmos Mandalore.
No. He's got a very deep, raspy voice, and he's a wonderful narrator for the story. So yeah, we played it all week. We haven't finished it yet, but highly engrossing and engaging. Had such a good time with it.
Oh, Matt, is it
Played
something
for a whole
that
week,
takes
they're still
that
not
long?
finished it.
Each chapter, like I said, it's 21 chapters, and you're looking at 2 hours for the story and then 2 hours for the gameplay, the boss afterwards.
Okay.
So you're looking at 4 hours a mission.
Oh, no. Well, that's not too bad, though.
It's not too bad. It is a very expensive board game. You're looking at £140 for the standee version and over £200 for the miniature version.
Wow.
So yeah, it is quality in a box there.
Maybe I'll stick to Spartacus.
I just dropped. Mate, I just dropped 90 on the Resident Evil board game. I'm good.
Oh, we could play that. We got to talk to you about a 420 party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got Resident Evil.
It's a very
1,
special
2,
number.
and 3 board games. Now. I got.
The girls are on holiday.
Nice. Alan Wake 2 is the next thing we'll talk about. Now, I've had a bit of a love-hate relationship with this game.
He did.
When I first started playing it, I thought it was pretty bad. I thought the gameplay was so broken and jarring, spending so much time going back to the think room, the brain room, the dream room, and like monotonously putting up information on this board, repeating the exact same information we just had, and in no way able to progress the story until your character puts the thing on the board and goes, oh yeah, I remember that now, when it only happened 2 minutes ago. And so it's so frustrating, and the game pauses its momentum so often to go back there to just go A to B to C to D to E. So your character goes, oh yeah, even though you as a player already know this information. And it's so annoying. So, I mean, it's also...
Gaming hasn't really evolved, has it, in the last 60 years? At the end of the day, so just hop over that
this
short
is-
wall, you cat!
Remedy trying to do a survival horror game, but clearly they've not played, so yeah, sorry about that, guys. We just had an internet outage, so we're back into it. And so as I was saying with Alan Wake 2, all of those things factored together, which made I was having a bad time with it. So I took like a 2-week break from playing it.
Yeah.
And then when I sat down to play it the next time, I knew what I was getting in for. I knew it was going to be slow. I knew there wasn't going to be much combat, but that it was a slower paced game, and it was a mystery, and it was filled with atmosphere. And then, if you've ever played a bunch of Remedy games, you know that they have lots of wacky, bizarre moments.
Yes, yeah.
Control.
And Alan Wake just lit the fuse on what on stuff you would not expect to have happen in the game, and it was absolutely wonderful.
A music moment.
That's the moment. It's an absolutely life-changing moment in the game. It's crazy. And so by then I was like, okay, it's a detective game. It's not Resident Evil. It's not Dead Space. It's fucking Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought the writing was very good. The characterization, the
Great
technology.
way to set it apart, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I turned around on it and come to really enjoy it. I finished it now, and now I'm on New Game Plus, which is called Final Draft, which at the end of the game, Alan makes a revelation, and then when you play the game, doing the loop again, sometimes Alan's like, wait a minute, I've already done this. This has happened before. And so the characters become self-aware that they're now in the loop of playing the game again and again. And the dialogue changes, and apparently there's another ending as well. So it's leading the door, I guess, for the Remedy universe to keep going.
It was the dog.
Probably, yeah, and the spaceship and everything.
Spaceship, yeah.
Son of a bitch.
I will talk very briefly about Napoleon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was it a short film?
No, as a matter of fact, it was quite a long film. I'm a big fan of Ridley Scott. I love his movies, his visual flair.
Yeah.
I think he's a technical master when it comes to
Visually,
filmmaking.
some writing he's got a bit.
Well, I mean, he doesn't write any of these films, though, right? So,
Well, he certainly didn't write Napoleon.
no, he
That's not
certainly
an
didn't. Well, I mean,
original
Napoleon's been getting a hell of a lot of flack for all of the horrible historical inaccuracies in the film.
Oh, really? I
hadn't
read that.
Historians are absolutely outraged at the portrayal of Napoleon. Like, this is...
Like any of them knew him.
Well, no, but there's enough history and there's enough reports that they have a pretty accurate understanding of who he was.
That's all written down. You can't believe that shit. Fucking people were writing shit on walls. You don't believe the shit on cave walls, do you?
The fact that you base most of your shit on Wikipedia that anyone can update really hammered home in that fucking little sentence.
So I'm just going to say Vanessa Kirby. She was very, very good.
Yeah. Well, what about Joaquin Phoenix? Was he?
He was very good too, but again, it was his version of Napoleon. It was just like,
right.
Who was the Napoleon in Time Bandits?
Fucking Ian Holmes.
Ian Holmes. I want Ian Holmes Napoleon movie.
I want the little people. I want the little people to come out here. So angry.
I thought you were going to say it's like Joaquin Phoenix's version of Napoleon. So like, he's walking down the steps to the cannons and he's like,
doing the Joker dance. Oh, jeez.
Smoking, just not giving a fuck.
Killers of the Flower Moon.
Yeah.
Martin Scorsese film. It took me a while to get around to this one. DiCaprio, great. De Niro, great. Lily Gladstone, freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good story. It's worth watching. It's a long movie. I watched it
I
in...
got the fucking 4 hours free or whatever.
I watched it in 3 45, 50-minute sittings.
Oh, wiki there.
So it felt really like a special, like a TV special. And so in that, it was bite-sizable and it worked. I don't think I could have made it in one whole sitting. I kind of would have gotten comfortable. I preferred taking breaks from it.
The same with me. I was just like, I looked at it and I was like, that's a home jobby.
Yeah,
I need to do
you
what
have to take breaks from your Wikipedia reading. I
I
ain't reading all that.
I didn't, like I said, with Oppenheimer, I'm not watching Oppenheimer in the cinema, and I'm not watching The Batman in the cinema. I can't sit there in a public place for 3 hours and miss things, knowing for when I'm going to have to get up. I'll wait until I'm at home, and I can pause it, and I can put the subtitles on, I can drink in my own time,
It sounds like what you need. A stadium budget.
I can digest what I've seen and not just
seat.
take an impression off the top of my head.
Oh, we're buffering again.
Yeah, I'm just... Sorry, guys, for those listening to the audio version. We're having some technical issues, but we're trying to stay on top of it. Killers of the Flower Moon I do recommend, but maybe in bite-sized.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to put the time aside to just fucking watch it. But
Nice. All right, next one I want to talk about is Mr. Bates versus the Post Office.
Crazy.
I had no idea about this new story.
Because I felt like I was the only person who didn't know about this whatsoever.
I knew about it when it happened, but then it got kind of brushed under the carpet and you didn't really hear anything.
Yeah, the media did a very good job of hiding it.
Yeah, now it's all come to light that that's what they did. Royal Mail, the company behind it, the press, they brushed it underneath the carpet. They took the people who were involved in it and went, yep, you're bad. There's no evidence to prove any of that, but we're just going to do that because all this money's gone missing and you were there. So you obviously fucking robbed it. And half these people are old age pensioners or whatnot who are sat there going, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. All I did was come into work one day.
Well, no, I mean, most of them are. I mean, it's because this happened like 25 years ago. That's why they all appear so old now. But, you know, they were all postmasters and they were all literally scammed by this company that set up a computer mainframe and just stole all their money and then told them that they lost the money and had to pay it back. And it just went into slush funds for millionaires. Yeah. And so it was absolutely disgusting.
Where basically
and
all our money goes.
The fact that this TV show has, you know, done so well and literally addressed the nation with it. And, you know, it's been claimed now that it's one of the greatest miscarriages of justice in the British legal history.
Since the last miscarriage of justice.
Since the last
in
greatest
British
miscarriage
fucking
of justice.
history, which was in name of our father or something before that, the Hillsborough murders or the fucking...
I don't know. But it's the reason why I first looked at it was that Toby Jones was on the front cover of the thing. So I was like, he's great, I love him. I'll check this out.
He was Zemo? Was he Zemo?
Yeah, in the Marvels. But he was also...
He's a perfect Zemo.
What was he? In The Mist.
Tarantino, what was the one he played thingy, didn't he?
I can't...
He was the... In Inglourious Bastards, he was the sniper they based the movie on, right?
I can't remember.
No. Toby Jones is he was the fucking robot face in Marvel Winter Soldier. He was working.
Oh, so when you said Zemo, that's fucking what's his name?
That's Ollie. His character was Ollie in The Mist.
I know what you mean.
Sorry, it was Zemo. Is the other guy, the one
that's
the
why
robot.
I got confused.
Yeah.
There's Rebel Moon, A Child of Fire Part 1. Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on from
Roll on.
watching that.
Society of the Snow.
Which is basically Alive, but 2023.
A remake of Alive,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
And it's a harrowing tale. If you ever saw the original film, the remake, it's the same story.
Just watch the original film, it's better.
Well, no, this film is actually really good. The acting in here is very good. The cinematography is fantastic. The plane crash is harrowing as hell. Watching them break down and fall apart, and you know the choice and the decisions that they make.
Is this one on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Yeah.
I knew I'd seen it somewhere, and I rightly scrolled past it. I was like, that looks a lot like Alive.
This is what I did as well.
Honestly, like it's been a long time since I've seen Alive, but Society of the Snow, I'd say it's equal. I don't think one's better than the other.
No, I don't think so.
You haven't seen it.
No, I don't. Right. I don't need
62
to. I don't need
62 podcasts. You haven't worked out that argument
I
don't
know.
fucking work.
Right.
I don't need to see Society of the
This is
Snow
really on
like
you.
that
Okay.
because I know how the story kind of pans out. If it follows the story of that Alive does, which I've already kind of looked at in the past. When I watched Alive, I wanted to know more about the rugby team that crashed on the Andes.
Yeah.
So I know how that plays out. Did Society of the Snow have the actual people come back and sit down in front of the camera and say their little bits?
No.
Right. That's what Alive does have.
Okay. It doesn't make it better. It's different.
It makes it better. It makes it better. I feel because it was such a harrowing tale at the time. To put it onto film would have been really difficult, but it got such a personal. And like you said, it's probably the same thing with the Netflix version. That's what they need to do.
Yeah, but
you
wouldn't
need
it
to
just be them
relate
just
to the people.
repeating
Yeah, that's basically what they are doing.
Well, no, but then it wouldn't be like, say, a different version. You can tell the same story in different ways.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Is like, well, if they just do exactly what Alive did, then they're not even trying, are they?
Well, no, but there's not really much you can do. Plane crashes.
Maybe watch it. You might find out.
The few survivors that are able actually to walk down the mountain have to walk down the mountain to get rescuing for the people who can't walk down the mountain, who are just barely surviving at top, trying to eat the flesh of some of the people that have died because they have to survive. You know, for me, the rugby team that crashes on top of the mountain, and I would possibly want to watch Society of the Snow, but it's the idea that when human people are actually pushed to the elements. You know, they will do anything and everything to survive. I remember when the story first came out, it was a big thing that, oh my God, they ate the flesh of the dead people to survive. Oh, what a horrible thing. Motherfucker, if you're starving on top of a fucking mountain and you don't, and you're afraid you are going to die and you need to eat and you need to drink, and the most you've got around you is your dead body and some snow, motherfucker, you're going to eat your dead body and you're going to drink some snow. If you want to see the next day, and that's what those guys needed to do. They just kept wanting to see the next day because they just had to hold hope that they were going to get rescued. Sorry, I'm taking your part.
Spoilers.
It's fine. Yeah.
Spoilers.
That's why you have seen it. See, it's the exact same movie. Take us away with the news, Ian.
Right, okay, yes. First off, in the news, obviously, we have a couple of passings away that happened recently. Andre Braugher, I believe it's pronounced. I might have got it wrong.
Devastating.
Passed away at age 61. This one came as a shock. Such a great screen presence with many memorable roles in Glory, Primal Fear, City of Angels, The Mist, Thick of Thieves, and of course the sitcom Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I did see him in something recently as well. And I was
Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, wasn't he in that?
Was he in that?
I think he played the general in that.
Oh, I think he was as well. It was something else I saw him where he was a cop. I can't remember. Me and Linda were watching
Brooklyn
that.
Nine-Nine.
But yeah. But it wasn't Brooklyn. I know. Can't believe you've gone so soon. Terry Crews, his co-star, said, "I'm honoured to have known you, laughed with you, worked with you, and shared 8 glorious years watching your irreplaceable talent. This hurts. You left us too soon." I mean, I caught up with him. Like, I'd seen him a few times in a few things, and then we watched him. Well, I watched him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I thought, man, this guy is so fucking funny.
Yeah.
Then I remember seeing him in The Mist, and I was like, oh my god, this guy is so good as an actor. Then we watched him again in Glory, which obviously we reviewed.
One of his first roles, I think.
Denzel Washington.
With
Yeah.
Denzel and Morgan Freeman. We recorded and reviewed that before he passed away. And so as soon as the news hit, it was just like, well, we know exactly what our first review is
Of the new year.
of January going up to pay because he was so amazing in that. It was,
And 61 as well, isn't no age.
Yeah,
He was so good in Brooklyn.
he
Nine-Nine,
was
man.
so good.
Oh, that's
As
right.
in-
He was in
he's,
Poseidon.
he's the
the
captain
remake,
of Poseidon as well.
Yeah.
Mate, dude, I've had this on my phone for years, right? Because how much I love him. Literally.
Right.
I gained 3 pounds in Paris. 3 pounds!
Just a Captain Holt soundboard.
I love Captain Holt.
Just
Look at
every
this
now
picture.
and again, we'll just be sat around and it's all quiet.
This
and
is a
it's just
picture-
I'm just like,
Loser.
Yeah. This is a picture of a pile of rubbish we found on the floor. This is a picture of your locker. It's a trick question. That is the same picture.
God's queen.
he's so fucking good.
Yes.
But again, it was a. I love that performance. It's like he comes in as the stuffed
He's
shirt
so dry,
and
yeah.
then you start to see that character break down a little bit and you reveal more about him. It's fantastic fucking storytelling. He just played that character so well.
Yeah, he definitely left us too soon, for sure.
Next one, Gary, scroll down.
Yeah.
The next one to pay memorable to is Tom Wilkinson, who passed away age 75. Entertaining and charismatic character actor with memorable roles in Shakespeare in Love, Batman Begins, Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, The Grand Budapest Hotel, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, and of course the 1997's The Full Monty, one of the highest grossing British independent movies of all time.
Rush Hour.
Tom Wilkinson was also nominated for Academy Awards for his acting in leading roles for In the Bedroom and for supporting in Michael Clayton. His Michael Clayton co-star George Clooney paid tribute by saying, "Tom made every project better, made every actor better. He was the epitome of elegance and he would be dearly missed by all of us." I mean, I gotta fucking shout out to this guy because I know I've seen him in a lot of things and trying to remember specific roles.
It's rare to see him as the main role. He's usually a supporting character actor.
but it's,
absolutely.
it's that shot. Like, everybody loves The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But it's that shot in Batman Begins where he's got the gun and he's pointed at Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale's character, and he's like, "I could shoot you right now," and nobody would bat an eyelid. And then you reflect it to the sequence where he's hooked up on the fucking sign
On the spotlight.
after Bruce Wayne Batman has done his thing, and it's just like it played out so fucking well. I like the sequence where he's with Cillian Murphy, sorry, and it's
I
just like
can't take it anymore.
blah
Blah blah blah blah.
blah. I'm losing my mind, and then
great.
he sprays him in the face with the smoke scarecrow. It's brilliant.
great.
Did it say what he passed away from? Because I remember when I watched That Will Get You.
Every time.
When he was in Full Monty, the new one, the series,
Yeah.
year just gone.
That's right.
His voice was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really gravelly. He was always sat down. Like, it sounds really
Yeah,
funny,
so he might have
stuff
already
like
been
that. He was
ill.
always
Yeah.
sat down in it.
Yeah,
and his
yeah.
voice was very gravelly, and he didn't do a huge amount in that
Okay.
show. He was great in it.
Yeah.
But again, he didn't do a huge amount, and that did sort of spark. I think it was like I'd fucking
Suspicion.
Google like, what's wrong with this?
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that sort of thing. So
That's sad, yeah.
So I hope that he didn't have some painful, prolonged illness or anything like that.
Yeah.
'Cause that's one of our best actors, man. He was
Yeah,
fantastic.
classic.
Just constant, like you
Well,
said.
he's kicking up there with Robbie Coltrane and fucking both Dumbledores now.
Both Dumbledores.
So
Just arguing like, about who was better.
another person who sadly passed away was James McCaffrey. Passed away aged 65.
This
James
one-
McCaffrey.
This one hurts.
Nuts.
Had many roles within film and television, including Jessica Jones, Rescue Me, and The Big Take, but his work in video games, lending his voice to Max Payne and Alex Casey, among others, within the Remedy games, including Alan Wake 1, 2, and Control, are so good that his work will live on forever with those characters. An iconic voice actor, a huge loss, and will treasure his impact on the medium.
I certainly will. Yeah, I was literally playing Alan Wake 1 when the news came out that he had just passed away. And I was just like, it's absolutely, terrible news. And like, because literally his voice is in the game as Thomas Zane, and then he's literally, obviously the voice of Max Payne, which I think is just one of the most prominent video game characters of all time.
Dude.
Like, it has
Him
not been a
reading
year
that
gone
comic
by.
strip is just
yeah.
It's
Phenomenal.
just iconic.
Yeah.
And because Max Payne and the characters that he's played within the Remedy universe are so prominent as well, it's a tragedy that we're not going to continue to explore his work with Remedy, because we're going to miss that voice.
AI
and so we're going to miss the
technology.
man too. Yeah, I mean, they'll probably find a substitute to go forward, because they're going to need to, because his work is unfinished. And so, yeah, and the fact that he's also gone at a young age, I didn't really get to appreciate his on-screen talents, but his vocal work and for the roles that he did take, he's going to be remembered forever, I think. Yeah.
And the last one, sadly passed away, was David Ng. Has passed away aged 77. Known to horror fans as Stephen Flyboy Andrews in George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead. Ng also appeared in a few horror movies, Basket Case 2 and Hellmaster. But his shinning moment really was his Flyboy and his unfortunate end as a zombie. But what a zombie he created. The movement, the walk, the hungry stare. It was perfect. Sorry, that's what Gary spelled. Shining moment is shinning. Was perfect and one of all time cinematic greats. You know, Flyboy, you're all right. Man, like he was ill for a while.
I don't know much about his personal life at all, to be honest.
Like I swear, because I swear I saw something a few years ago where he was at a convention and he just looked kind of thinner, frailer, and I was surprised he hadn't passed away sooner. But then when obviously the news broke that he had passed away, I was just like, man, fucking hell! The fact that he played Stephen in Dawn of the Dead, didn't do a lot after that, but everybody just remembered him majorly.
Yeah.
For Stephen's
For
role.
some people, he is the most iconic zombie in all of cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Exactly.
nailed it. Just set a standard for everyone else.
It wasn't even like he was a dickish character.
He was to
in Dawn of
begin
the
with,
Dead.
but he does change.
But not dickish to the point like
But
you
I think-
wanted him dead within the first 10 minutes.
I think
he
his
acts like
character-
a more real person.
Yeah, but
in a way.
I think his character as written could be that way. But I think his natural charisma or his natural way, of just being himself actually stopped him from being like that, because he felt like a human who made mistakes and was adjusting to this new world, while the others were clearly competent at handling themselves.
Well,
So-
his relationship with the female character, I can't remember what her name is. Francine. That becomes your focal point for the rest of the movie.
Franny.
When you find out that she's pregnant, and that he's the dad, and that they're trying to kind of keep her down because they don't want to be taking care of a woman, but she's actually fighting back and going, no, I don't want to be dead mother. And so then they start to get like angry at each other, like the way he slams the ammo down because she's staying up on the roof, but she wants to learn the helicopter, which is fucking smart. And it's so in depth, and he brought such greatness to that character.
So yeah, even though he doesn't have a long cinematic resume, it doesn't matter.
I was going to say, it's crazy how much he did with such a small amount of screen time, isn't it?
Yeah,
he made that character so much better than Alice in 7 or 8 Resident Evil fucking movies.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Fucking hell.
After all the drama of last year, Jonathan Majors has been let go by Marvel after a guilty verdict on 2 counts of harassment and assault. So Kang the Conqueror is conquering nothing no more. A shame for sure, as Majors had strong on-screen talent and looked to be a real rising star in the industry. Yeah, but it was way too quick, I felt, as well. All of a sudden, he just came out of nowhere and was just...
He was in what was it, Aviator? No, it was an airplane film that he was in, a World War plane film. He was fantastic in that. And then obviously he turned up in Creed. He was fantastic in that. And he turned up as Kang the Conqueror, and he was good, but the script was terrible. And then his career's fallen apart.
Probably terrible because he was in prison a couple of times. But anyway, Marvel will surely be doing some reshuffling as the next Avengers titled The Kang Dynasty will either be recasting or changing direction.
Look,
really easily.
Yeah,
You
Robert
got a
Downey
time travel
Jr.
coming.
in blackface from Tropic Thunder,
Yeah.
Oh,
replacing him.
man.
Done.
Man, you're gonna be fucking those people in a minute again.
He's
You're
the
gonna
guy
be
dressed as a dude who's being another dude. That's what you got to do.
No, I think Downey Jr. is done after Oppenheimer for a little while. I think he's taken that role and he doesn't need to do anything major for a little while. New
See what
Star
you did
Trek
there.
film now in the works after Quentin Tarantino finally decided not to progress with his own take. Now, Andor director Toby Haynes is at the helm with J.J. Abrams producing and adding glare to it. Most of the details so far are under wraps, as you can imagine. It's just got lots of glare. Though one small detail, glare, means for certain that this will be a new standalone film with glare, with no returning cast members from either Star Trek timelines. But the timeline they're in is just going to have glare. This new film is set to take place decades before Kirk and years before Pike. A few media sources still claim that a fourth movie with the JJ timeline is still in development stages. They haven't got past the glare yet.
No, just too much. They've all been blinded by it now after a trilogy of movies.
Yeah. It's a glaring problem.
But yeah, Star
problem.
Trek seems to be in a weird spate because obviously Star
a
Trek
neutral zone?
Discovery is coming to an end soon.
Yeah.
Paramount, they washed their hands of their animated Prodigy show.
Wow.
Obviously, Picard's finished now. Strange New Worlds is currently filming its third season. They've just wrapped their second episode, filming wise. But yeah, like in the film universe, like we had just the JJ trilogy, which seemed to have declining returns with each film.
Yeah.
Although, like I quite like the third one, Star Trek Beyond. I thought it was good, and
I like
wouldn't
Into
mind.
Darkness.
I like all three of them.
Fair
I'm
enough.
a
Yeah.
Star Trek fan.
I've tried
fanboy.
3 times to watch Beyond and failed all 3 times. I like the first 2 though.
Sure. I mean, I can't stand the second one. I think it's
Oh, I like the
awful.
second one.
Awful.
Yeah, I like Into Darkness.
But anyway, so yeah, the Star Trek movies,
Cumberbatch.
like them or hate them,
Cumberbatch.
it's. I think there's a great cast, and so even if I don't think the film's very good, I think the cast is brilliant.
Yeah.
And so it would be a shame to lose those actors playing those iconic roles again. So, but I'm also like a bit hesitant. Like another Star Trek film, a movie. Like, Star Trek's never released a movie without pre-existing cast members transitioning from screen to movie. So I don't know what they're going to do there with that.
You got to
They
make it.
put
So,
the work in with the series though. Look,
Yeah.
again, I'm not a big Trekkie or anything, but what it seems to be where I do wonder whether they've looked across the road at the other franchise.
Oh, right.
And gone, man, they're fucking blatting out movies and they're not great. So like maybe we'll stick to like you said,
black
you can
out
build
movies that aren't great and see if people stick.
Well, no, but that's what I'm saying. Is that's not what Star Trek's done, is it? They haven't released as many movies. They've more concentrated on the series, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the movies
They're
that
building their timeline.
But it's because the movies that they put out haven't been as successful. It keeps happening with Star Trek. They put out a TV series. The fans demand for films. They put films out. The fans go, actually, that wasn't what we wanted.
Well,
so then they go back to the
only
TV
films
series for a
they've
bit.
done
Then they
since
release more films, and then the fans go,
Generation
"Mm."
stuff was the Abrams stuff, right? That's the only films they've released. They've
No,
not released any other films.
No,
have they?
no, what I'm saying is right. If
No,
you
but
got-
they were pre-existing characters, though.
Yeah,
so
well,
yeah,
yeah,
it's
but
true. It's straight, straight to a movie.
But that's
yeah.
what I'm saying is like they haven't, other than the J.J. Abrams, they've not released any other films, have they?
No, that's right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They've seemed to at least gone. We're going to focus more on the series.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it's like 1960 Star Trek came out. Everybody went, we want a film. So they released a motion picture which the fans didn't like. Then they had to go back and obviously try to retcon it to go, oh, well, here's Wrath of Khan. That's from the series that actually, completely changes some of the storyline. And then we're going to go, but the films don't do as well, financially. So we're going to go back to TV. So we'll do Next Generation. And the Next Generation fans go, actually, we want more films. So then they come out with more Next Generation films. But then those ones don't do too well. So they have to go back to the series again, Deep Space Nine, Voyager. enterprise, and then it was a struggle to get back into the film industry again, and so they had to retcon a whole new Star Trek
Star
family.
Trek had stopped for a
I just
long
want a
period.
Galaxy Quest series.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yes, Galaxy Quest series. That's what the fuck we want. We don't want Star Trek. This is a follow-up to last month's news that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland were working on a new film together, and now they made it official. They are working on 28 years later, with them both teasing that this might be the start of a new trilogy. You haven't finished the last trilogy. What the fuck?
Exactly. Well, they're not considering it as a trilogy. Plus, they didn't have that much involvement with the second one. They kind of just stepped back as producers, so they don't really feel like it's theirs.
How can you make?
Oh, so maybe they do 2 movies.
Right, and then
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, they could do.
They could do. Yeah.
Boyle will be directing with Garland penning the trilogy of films. The hope being that 28 years is a success. Yeah, hope there is the big word. So that the next films can get the go-ahead, because that's how film industry works.
Well, no, I mean,
Hollywood
sometimes...
Report revealed that each movie is looking at the budget of $75 million for each film.
Yeah.
Fuck off. How much did you make 28 days later for? Just do that again.
There's like 9 people in that movie, though.
Right, so that's all you fucking need. 28. We've been waiting years for a third movie in that series. That by the time this comes out, the interest in it will be waned to a point where we'll be like,
I don't think
was
so.
that it?
I think it's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm excited. Like, this is great
Yeah,
news.
but excited. Like, what are you excited
Danny
for?
Boyle, Alex Garland working together, period. The fact that they're making another film in a franchise we don't like.
28 days later was so iconic because it came out at a time that we didn't have any zombie or infection kind of monster movie going on at that point. It came out, it was so new and it was so fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But they had 2 endings for that movie, didn't they? They had 2 endings. They had one where the guy died and one where they lived, and they weren't too sure how to go with it because they had to kind of end the film in a nice way. They didn't even know that they were going to be going for a sequel. The sequel comes along, everyone's like, go bigger, go better. So they do go bigger and go better, and it gets a bit silly to the point where some of the things in the movie doesn't even make any sense. And Robert Carlyle was just running around just killing everybody because he kissed his wife. To the point as well, they go all the way to France, and there's this whole ending. We're like, oh my God, it's affected the world. Right, so 28 years later, it's going to have affected the world.
Maybe, but it's been so long now. Maybe they dealt with it.
But we
I have
know
no
that
idea.
Maybe they're living
starve
among
to
us,
death.
like in that Daylight movie. What was it? With the vampires. Was it Daylight?
Yeah,
No.
Daybreakers.
Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Daybreakers was great. I like that movie. And the next one is Top Gun 3, now in development. We'll scroll down a little bit, thank you. At Paramount Studios. Just days after Tom Cruise signed a deal to work with Warner Brothers on new projects because he needs more money to pay his Scientology buddies. Though still allowed the freedom to work with Paramount and Universal on future films. Cruise is still busy with Mission Impossible films because that's what he's doing at the moment. But during that time, Aaron Kruger, who co-wrote Maverick, will be getting the next Top Gun script complete, with Joe Kosinski returning as director, with Miles Teller also tapped to return, bringing his mustache back.
Hell yeah. I mean, I was excited
Is
for
he
Top
going
Gun
to
Maverick.
step in?
Oh, jeez.
Step in.
Nice.
And I didn't expect Top Gun 2 to do as well as it did. It was a great movie.
Yeah, man,
But yeah, it did really well. So, of course, the studio was looking at it and gone, don't care whether it was a good movie or a bad movie. It made this much money, so do it again and make us more money.
That's what the 28 days later
This
guys.
whole,
We're writing a film right now because we want them to go, it made loads of money. Here's more.
They could have made money again off of Maverick by just releasing the fucking 120 hours of in-air footage that they never used.
They shot, yeah.
And just go, it's just fucking reams of this for like 2 hours.
Watch Tom
Go to the
Cruise.
cinema.
Watch Tom Cruise sitting in a
I guarantee
fucking
you people go see that.
jet cockpit flying around, but he's got like, what? How many yellow pages does he have to sit on?
I don't know, probably
Like
a
2 or
few.
3. Quickfire news. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire has released more screenshots. No actual story or anything, but more screenshots along with the reveal that Janine will be a Ghostbuster this time round. As Annie Potts says, it's all hands on deck. Sorry. All hands on deck. Deck, as in the deck floor. Not anything else.
Well, that's
Annie,
what I thought you said.
This is what I thought I said. Annie also had this to say. It came as a real surprise, the deck.
This is why you read the note.
Adding that it wasn't initially in the script. We were weeks into shooting, and Gil came up to me and said, "We think it's time. We're going to have you suit up. You've been sat on the stage at the back of the fucking set all these weeks, and we realised we can't have you arrested anymore, so we better give you a job. Once she got the suit on, it felt just right. I mean, in fairness, who else didn't have a fantasy of Janine wearing a Ghostbusters outfit? Was it just me?
It was just you, bro.
Oh, man.
I don't know. For me, it was all in the glasses.
Egon's.
What?
Janina served long and well, and I felt like she was finally getting her stripes. You know, she's clearly stayed in touch with the guys. Clearly. Even though she didn't know who the fuck Egon's fucking missus was and who she gave birth to. And she's really been the keeper of the flame at the firehouse. Ghostbusters are kind of superheroes, so it's very nice to finally be seen in that way too. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire comes to UK cinemas from 22nd of March.
Yeah, it's so close now. Yeah, because it was April, but they've moved it forward. So yeah, I'm really happy.
Ian's not struggling to read it. Ian's
I've got to say, like, obviously I wrote this, so a lot of the news has come from my perspective, and so listening to you read my thoughts out loud for the podcast is so weird.
That's why I keep
so weird.
That's why I keep adding in little
I know
things.
you did. I'm like, I didn't write that.
And then I'm like, that just came up in my head. Look, I'm excited for another Ghostbusters film.
Are you?
Yes, because
Really?
for fuck's sake, just make the story work. Afterlife didn't work. I don't care. I'm not going into the argument again. None of you want to hear it, but none of you can.
Agreed.
None of you are right. None of you all just sat there with nostalgia glasses on going, it's Ghostbusters. Yes, badly written Ghostbusters. I know 2016 was pretty bad as well, but fuck me, when you're going to make a whole story about some woman who fucking was born from the seed of Egon Spengler
it's
and
good
not
that he's not
explain
gonna
who
rant
her
about it
mum is
again.
or the grandmother or how
You know what he said
genetics
10
work,
seconds ago?
the fucking
I'm
daughter.
not going to
It's
go into
fucking
it again.
stupid.
Well, here we go.
Right. Next bit, horror video game Until Dawn, now getting a movie adaptation.
Hey, I'm really excited for Ghostbusters.
Me too, dude. Me
So I
too.
throw that out there,
I like if they release a new trailer and show them. I don't want to see. I didn't even want to see the Janine in the Ghostbuster outfit.
I was saying, to be fair, I saw it and did
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
right.
like, oh fuck! I could have gone to the cinema not seeing that. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
know.
I'm excited because everyone around the film's getting really excited for its release. Like,
man.
I think
Yeah,
Toe
money.
Film Magazine's
Good
just
thing.
released. They're doing two separate special covers, one with the new Ghostbusters and one with the old team.
Yeah,
and so
yeah,
seeing
yeah,
Janine
yeah, I
there
see
with
that.
the other three, I was just like, oh, it's worth buying. Like, I want that picture. It's great. It's
Nice.
yeah, I know.
No, I mean,
Ghostbusters hits me in the nostalgia.
It's
so
one of
hard.
those
Yes.
that even Donna and like the kid want to go see it.
Yeah.
in the cinema
I
when
get
it's out.
that. It's going to be fun, and I'm excited for it. If they leave plot holes in the plot, I'm going to point them out. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'll admit if there are plot holes, I
I'm
agree with your afterlife
Yeah, I'm
statements,
not-
but for
I'm
me,
not
that wasn't
shitting
what the
on-
film was
you
about,
know,
so it didn't bother me.
Ghostbusters Afterlife isn't a bad film. I can give you 10 fucking worse movies than Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
It's just Ghostbusters Afterlife has a plot point that they just completely avoid, and I'm supposed to sit there and just pretend it didn't fucking happen. No, it's not fucking happening.
Remember when the little marshmallow did the fucking thing?
Yeah, it was
It was great,
fun.
wasn't it?
And they drove around
Oh,
in the
I loved
car
it.
and they were fighting Spengler.
Hey, it made the noise.
And the little girl was able to fix the fucking ecto pack because she's got her granddad's genetics of smartness. Horror video game Until Dawn now getting a movie adaptation. David F. Sandberg from Shazam and Annabelle creation. I flip you off for 4 hours. What the fuck? What? Annabelle creation. I flip you off for 4 hours. Signed on as director. I read
not a
that. I
fan.
don't know what the
Not a fan.
Gary Doberman, who wrote Annabelle Creation, will be writing for Sandberg and this new adaptation about 8 friends in a remote mountain retreat and a monster.
Yeah, if you've ever played the video game, it pretty much is a movie. You know, it's one of those pick your own, response type.
I was just about to say, does this not lend itself perfectly to a DVD release with multiple endings?
It does, yeah.
Or
it
you
does.
do, or you basically,
Yeah.
all they had to do was like, do you remember when they did, what was the fucking Black Mirror, the Bandersnatch thing?
Yeah.
Fucking do that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so
that's
easy
not-
to do.
But yeah, but then
And that
what,
is
just play
basically what the fucking game is. Yeah,
right.
I get it.
Yeah.
But still, there better be a bunch of fucking DVD alternative endings. And
There's gotta be,
death
yeah,
kills and
yeah.
stuff.
Don't bet on it. I mean, the guy made Annabelle Creation. I don't know what he's planning on doing. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle video game trailer looks really good. Being produced by Bethesda and developed by Machine Games behind Wolfenstein Youngblood and Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Wolfenstein The Old Blood, New Order, and Doom. Here's the synopsis. The year is 1937. Sinister forces are scouring the globe for the secret to an ancient power connected to the Great Circle. The fuck's the Great Circle?
That's the name of the game, and it's also the plot that's evolving around something that circles the Earth. So
they're looking for a giant hula hoop.
yes.
And one person can stop them. Indiana Jones.
Da-da-da-da.
You'll become the legendary archaeologist in the cinematic action adventure game from Machine Games.
This is he's being played. Is it Troy Barker? Is it
Troy
Joel
Baker.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joel. Yeah.
He doesn't actually sound too bad.
No,
I thought he was really good.
I think he sounds
Sounds-
good. I thought the trailer looked good. It can't possibly be any
Like-
worse than that fucking movie I just watched.
Yeah, like I don't think he's
Didn't get a
trying
chance
to
to
sound.
Destiny.
brag on that earlier. Fuck that movie. It's hard.
I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to sit
Oh.
down and watch it and see if it's that bad. But
Oh.
he doesn't sound like he's not trying to sound like
No, in your
Harrison
top 10
Ford.
then.
He's just trying to sound like a gruff Indiana Jones.
I thought he
Yeah.
sounded like Indy from like the 80s, 90s. He
Yeah,
sounded young.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. He sounds like indie. It doesn't
Yeah.
sound like he's trying to pull off a
not very
Harrison
forced.
Ford. part.
Yeah.
It looks like he's got some
absolutely.
great set pieces, some globe trotting, and of course punching Nazis in the face. You're whipping, you're gunning.
He's even
There's
got
spikes
he's
on
even
it.
got
first
like that
person, isn't it?
straight
It is,
right
yeah.
cross of
It
Indies
does,
as well,
yeah.
like the way
It's
he
great.
grabs them. It
So,
does look really good.
hopefully the gameplay itself's not too repetitive because some of
Hmm.
the animations in the trailer do loop. We see them a few times, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. But the presentation of the trailer of itself, I'm excited for that
I
one.
don't know if it'll be lost though, because as I said, the last film's just come out. A lot of people's interest
Yeah.
have waned on it.
But
so
video
giving them a
game form,
That's different.
RoboCop's
Yeah, I think
just
it's
done
different,
fairly
yeah.
well.
Hey,
Yeah.
if anything,
Yeah,
this
but-
looks more like it's going to take the bad taste out of my mouth.
I think so.
See,
Agreed.
that's it. It depends on what people are really wanting. Now they just want to see all the action moments in. 'Cause like we said, RoboCop did well, but it was just a lot of shooting. Once they added in the EXP talking moments,
Which were bad.
right?
Very bad.
Which were bad, but that they had to fit that into the game to
Yeah.
fill it out because all they had was just them running around shooting. shit.
Walking
And even
gun
the shooting
simulator.
sequences weren't that great. You hid it behind a cardboard box for the whole Ed 209 fight.
It worked.
It's a legitimate strategy.
This cardboard box took
Hey,
so many
don't
Ed
spoil the game for me.
209 rounds,
Don't spoil the
it
game
just
for me.
wouldn't break.
You don't know what's in the box.
Fucking
Maybe,
bullet.
Titanium,
Hey,
I
maybe it was a Smeg fridge. Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that indie game. I think it looks.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty
It's
sweet.
going to look really good, and like I said, yeah, I am hoping it's going to take the taste out of the last fucking.
Yeah.
movie. Hey, hopefully in this one they don't just completely fuck him over and just like kill all his loved ones and make him live
Or-
a
or
fucking
what's his-
horrific shit
Was
life.
it Ray
since the
Winston
last
just keeps
movie.
backstabbing him like 3 or 4 times during the movie.
Crystal Skull was better.
Crystal Skull was great. I love Crystal
Oh,
Skull.
wow.
I didn't go that far.
Yeah, it was great.
It was
I
better
loved
than
it.
Dial
I
of
loved it.
Destiny.
And mate, you wait until I watch Dial of
At
Destiny.
least
and
they
I'm
didn't
like,
have a
guys,
really,
actually, this-
really unlikable fucking extra
I mean,
character
at
come
least
into it.
in
'cause I-
Dial of Destiny, he doesn't randomly have sex with some woman and make another kid. At least we know who the mother is in those fucking films. Need more dinosaurs? The next Jurassic World film is being developed by David Coep for Universal Studios. David Coep wrote the original Jurassic Park and The Lost World, and is apparently I thought Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park and the original Lost World.
Well, he wrote the
No,
screenplay
the-
adaptation for
yeah.
Spielberg.
And is apparently far along enough with the script that the studio is already looking at release dates for a film without actors or a director yet, because they certainly can't get Sam Neill.
Why not?
He's ill.
Oh.
Yeah. Apparently, this new film will explore new characters in a world being overrun by dinos. No legacy cast returning at this point.
Good, probably a good idea.
Jeff Goldblum does not need any money. Laura Dern is probably still running around fucking Mulholland Drive. And that's it. I think Sam Neill's ill.
He's not doing
all.
well. That's sad to hear.
fucking
Yeah.
awful.
But everyone's getting old, man. It's going to happen to most
So
of
yeah,
us.
I imagine this will be probably the first in a new trilogy of Jurassic something movies. But
Jurassic
Do you know? Do you know what though? Kind of not quite dinosaurs, but do you know what looks fucking excellent and I can't wait for?
No.
Is have you seen the animatronics being used for the How to Train Your Dragon live action
I
movie?
have not.
So I started following. I'm trying to remember what they were called, but I started following the company that makes them on Facebook just because I saw a video and it was like a T-Rex, and it's like you walk into their studio and they're like, hey, we have a 30-foot high T-Rex that casually walks around. I love all this shit.
That's
Old school
cool.
animatronics,
Yeah,
make
yeah.
it fucking tactile.
You need
Yeah.
practical
So
as
then
well
they
as
announced
computer.
that they were making the How to Train Your Dragon movies that they're doing in live action. Now, me and the
Okay.
kid fucking love those animated movies. Absolutely adore them. They're definitely me and Jessica's like one of our trilogies.
Yeah, I love.
And straight away they showed one of the entire dragons. you can ride on the fucking thing.
That's
And then we saw
awesome.
Toothless the other day as well, and it looked great. And the fact that they're actually looking at bringing Gerard Butler in as his character, as the chief and
As
stuff.
the chief. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
I'm like,
have you ever watched
fucking
them?
make it rain.
Which with the
How
Train
to Train
Dragons, I haven't seen any
Oh,
of
they're
them.
brilliant.
Oh man,
they're
I
fantastic.
was really not going to watch any of them back in the day because obviously kids movie, they just come out. I was just like, I'm not interested in this.
Yeah, it was one I
And-
ended up watching in the inevitable, like, I want Daddy, I want to watch
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Just bang this
same
film
with
on the
Dylan,
background, and then
right,
I'm
put it
like,
on. And I watched the first one, and by the end of it, I was like, "Oh my god, I'm really into this
is
fucking
really good.
story."
Okay,
I got so
okay.
much into the first and second movie that when the TV series dropped, I had to watch it
yeah.
because I was just like,
Okay.
"I'm gonna see the advancement."
I
Of his
guess I feel like
characters.
I'm missing out now. I do like dragons.
They've advanced it now because something happened in the third one, but I saw a trailer where like all the dragons have left their world now, haven't they?
Spoilers, the dragons essentially return to their
Yeah.
world in the third
But the trailer that I've seen
but
recently,
you see them kind of it jumps forward, so you see Hiccup. You're like, how do you age him up? You give him a beard, so you know. Oh, he's older.
You give him a beard.
You know,
But-
like,
but
when they go
the-
back, they put a backwards baseball cap on him. And, so they
It works. It
yeah,
works.
look how young I look now.
But the new trailer, the new trailer I saw, it was just like, right, oh yeah, we're going to bring them all back, and I'm like, this is how you bring back a series again.
Okay.
You know, the films have done very well. They've not overburdened you too much with all this information. Yes, they're toy makers to sell it to the kids, but it works.
Okay.
So
cool.
live action, yeah, probably all
Fuck
the way.
yeah, I can't wait for it.
I think that's it. 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all blank. Unless he's written it in white text, and then I can't read
It's
it.
a mystery.
Any trailers? Do we have any trailers?
No, we got
I
no
didn't
trailer.
watch
We
any
did the
trailers.
Indiana Jones video game trailer, I suppose.
That's true. We did watch that. That was alright. So
We're going to have to delete the section because we tend to try and avoid trailers now if we're actually interested.
True, yeah.
Like,
No, I
one
wanna-
came up the other day for a movie called, I think it's Baghead.
Okay.
But all I saw is it said from the producers of Barbarian. I was like, that's fine, I'll watch it. Click.
Yeah.
I was like, done. Because
Yeah,
like,
yeah, don't need the trailer.
I caught the trailer of Barbarian and wish I hadn't. Because I remember
I walked out of the cinema when it.
was
Yeah.
it Halloween?
Yeah.
One of the Halloween movies, and it came
Yeah,
up and
Barbarian
you
trailer came
literally
on, I
went,
was
fuck
like, nope.
this, and walked out. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this probably sucks then. What? Oh, really good.
no,
And it was.
trailer that I saw yesterday was it Monkey Man by Dev
Patel. Yeah.
He's starring it. It's basically John Wick but set in India. And we were talking about it in our Discord, saying about how you can see that he's probably watched a lot of movies like The Raid and John Wick and maybe On Back all the way back in the day. He's seen the fighting styles for that. It looks like he's got a really good story behind it involving his character because he's the main actor as well as the director behind it.
Okay.
The fight sequences look great, but then again, I was watching the trailer and I'm not getting too massively excited because if you can get some really good fight choreographers in and you can get some really good guys who can do it really well, the fight sequences are going to look great.
Okay. Yeah.
It's easy to do nowadays. John Wick's just done 4 movies out of it.
Right.
You know, they've been doing martial art movies since the 1960s. Get excited for it, yes, but is it going to win Oscars and be the next fucking huge massive series? I don't think so. Hopefully it's just one. He gets a really he gets it off. Everybody gives him the praise. He gets a shit ton of money. Hopefully he doesn't turn it into a fucking 4 series fucking
Well,
trilogy.
if all those steps that you just described happened, he will.
He probably will.
Yeah.
because-
Yeah.
Monkey Man 2.
That's what we
I
do.
guess there is one trailer I do want to bring up before
Yeah.
we close,
Yeah.
and that's The Ones Who Live, the Walking
Oh,
Dead,
The Walking Dead
Rick
one.
and Michonne.
His nips are so hard for this.
They are. It's uncomfortable, actually.
Uncomfortable. You
I,
can't even
I
wear
need
tops.
the episodes to start. Like, when's next month already?
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't want to see the trailer. The trailer was linked to me, and I just went, no, I don't need to see that. And I tried avoiding it all day, and I was weak.
Yeah.
And I clicked on the trailer. And
I was weak.
I was
Was
weak.
it the final trailer that I said?
No, not that
Oh,
one. No,
yeah,
the
yeah.
first trailer.
No,
the
final
second trailer, I'm strong now.
The final trailer. I didn't want you. We said not for you to watch.
I'm not watching it, but that first trailer, I was just like, this looks like the best thing The Walking Dead's done in a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just seeing Rick back on screen, Andrew Lincoln. I'm just like, God, I've missed your face in TV, so it's great to see him back in that role.
Yeah.
Story
How
looks
much
really
money did they back up to his front door?
Well, yeah,
get
I mean,
him to
well, the
carry
promise
on.
was that
They
he
stood
would
there
come
with
back.
cards. Remove the cards. We will pay you.
Yeah.
It's probably why it's no longer a movie and now a TV show instead.
I just saw in the comment section actually somebody just mentioned about the new Adam Sandler Spaceman trailer.
Yeah,
I
if you
saw
wanna
the
talk about
trailer. I saw the trailer. There's not much going on in it. We'll have to wait for it to come out.
Is he in space?
Well, no. From what I saw, he was on a planet. So I'm assuming he starts in
Planets
space
are in
and
space.
lands. Planets are in space. That is true. He is in a space suit.
Is he himself and his sister?
No, he's actually trying to act
might be
dramatic.
watchable.
A lot of people are trying to jump on the bandwagon that, oh my god, it looks absolutely amazing because, well, wasn't he so great in Uncut Gems and wasn't he so great in Hustle? Yes, he was great in Hustle.
So sorry, because I saw the trailer but didn't watch the trailer. But
Right.
Is this a fucking comedy or is it a
No,
There's a serious fucking movie.
It
or
looks
whatever?
like it's a serious movie, but it's still Adam Sandler. Yeah, and like, unless that script comes out so fucking Oscar written that when he speaks it, you're like, oh my god, this is the second coming of Christ of how well Adam Sandler is working in this sci-fi movie. It's literally just Adam Sandler in a
Who are
space
these people
suit
that
at
are
the moment.
saying these things to you?
Mate, I spend a lot of time on the fucking internet. It's the whole world
Stop
fucking
it.
saying it to me.
I've told you,
You know,
about this. Stay off that thing. It's not good for you.
I try to stay off it, but
It's not good for
but my
you.
wrestling's there, my porn is there. What am I gonna do?
Videotapes? You're into retro tech, aren't
I don't
you?
have a video player anymore. Your mum took it off me.
Yeah, well, you needed it back.
Spaceman looks alright, but we just gotta wait for it to come out.
Pass.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, if you were to get into him again, I would say to watch Hustle because that was a really good serious role. But even then, that was still just Adam Sandler pretending to be a fucking basketball coach, basketball scout.
Okay.
You know, it's still Adam Sandler. Uncut Gems. Everyone's like, oh my god, he's so great in that. It's Adam Sandler with a goatee and glasses being a jerk. Adam Sandler is just Adam Sandler.
Yes.
You broke the feed again.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Well, I think we're just about wrapping up part one.
Rappity rap.
I think we're going to take a very small break, but
Yeah.
when we come back, we're going to be counting down our top 10 picks of 2023.
Yes. Nice. And welcome back, everybody, to our second part, which is going to be on our top 10 mentions of 2023. Now, we always do this every year, every January. And every January, these guys always give me shit because I don't really write a list like that. But this year, I did make a top 10 list. But Andy and Gary have both got honourable mentions because they don't have a top 10 list. They have a top 50 fucking list that they have to break all the way down. So, Gary, take it away. Your top 10.
Well,
We watched it.
Andy and I have got a bunch of honourable mentions. As you said, our list was extensive. We did watch and play a lot of stuff this year.
Yeah.
Also, we assume that you've only done like 3 things. So we're like, we got to fill the time. We're like, fucking...
I only do 3 things. That's how my life's so fucking easy and simple.
Because Ian's best of usually consists of what happened in Raw or SmackDown
Well,
in the late
yeah,
90s.
what happened last week?
Yeah.
Hey, fucking, you
Let him
laugh.
do his honourable mention.
Every motherfucking year we get a show out and running because the videos are fucking edited because I'm spending all that time fucking editing them because I don't have fucking time to sit around and watch all my fucking shit.
That's no excuse.
Yeah, I know.
Wiki's my friend.
Wiki's my friend.
So I've broken down my top 10 every year. It mixes TV shows, games, and films. It's all
Yep.
in one.
Yes.
So it's sometimes hard to, as they jockey for their placement here. But I'm just going to rattle off all of my honourable mentions, film, TV, and games in one go.
Yeah.
And then Andy's going to do the same. So
Really fast.
really fast.
Keep up.
There
Get
might
ready
be
to keep
there
up.
might be one or two that I pause on just for a little bit, but I'm
Up
going to
and
go
go
fast. So, film honourable mentions:
Yes.
Oppenheimer, Cobweb. Cobweb was actually on my top 10, and it got shuffled off as I remembered something else. So Cobweb was a contender, really
Yeah.
good. Saw X, not great, but I had a lot of fun with it.
was not great.
Knock at the Cabin, thought it was fantastic. It was almost on my list, but didn't quite make it. Cocaine Bear, it's not a great movie, but so much fun. It's so much fun. Creed 3, again, it never made it onto the list, but it was a contender. The Killing of the Flower Moon, great film, love Scorsese, love all the actors involved. Didn't rock my socks like anything else though. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, again, thought it would be on my list. One of my favorite Marvel of anything from last year. So still the only Marvel thing anywhere on my list at all. Honorable mention. The Wrath of Becky, the sequel to Becky.
Yeah.
Can't wait for a third movie. Really like the actress. Really like the setup. I love how it's going more comic book with its sequel. Yeah, great. TV honorable mentions: The Last of Us. Like, budget well spent. Great actors. Great setting. They've brought. They've They've adapted that video game incredibly well. So yeah, Last of Us. Beef, really good fun show. Watch that one on Netflix.
I need to catch that one.
From season 2. It's the Michael Perrineau show. It's the one where everyone's stuck in this town. Monsters come out at
that's the
night
one I
and they
told you
cannot
about. Yeah.
leave.
Yeah.
Great second season. Third one's on its way. For All Mankind, season 3, 4. It's kind of weird for All Mankind because it starts in one year and ends in the other.
Yeah.
So For All Mankind is still consistently good, but not in my top 10 list anymore. Wrestlers, the TV show.
The TV show on
That
Netflix.
was the Netflix
amazing.
one.
Yeah.
Really good. Heels season 2, the other wrestling show on Stars, which is an absolute travesty that show just got cancelled after a huge cliffhanger ending. Really, really upset with that one. Heels was one of my favourite shows.
Someone will pick it up.
It looked that they are shopping it around, but right now there's no buyers, and that's really,
I know
really
a streaming
sad.
service that's interested in wrestling.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
Maybe
do
you're
I,
right.
yeah.
Maybe you're right. I would love to see
throw the
Heels
net
get
out
picked
for
up
that one.
and carry on. They deserve to have that story continue.
Just
Squid
thought of that.
Game, the
Isn't that funny?
challenge?
Sorry, that Wrestlers is on there with OVW on Netflix.
Right.
Do you reckon Al Snow's like, man, what if Netflix bought our TV rights and like, we'll just have Raw? Ah, damn it.
Oh, bro.
Squid Game, the challenge. Talked about that one not too long ago. Last podcast. It's obviously the game show version of the Korean TV show.
Yep.
Star Trek Strange New World Season 2. Loved it. Every episode, including the musical. Barry Season 4. Really, it was the final season. I didn't think it would get that far, but it was just absolutely phenomenal performances, acting, direction, every episode. You just roll right into the next one. Video games, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty expansion. Obviously, when the game released, it was a shit show. Not for everyone, but it was a long road of patching and
It was
fixing.
Pretty much a shit show for most people.
Not everyone.
Not everyone, no, but
You enjoy it. I remember.
Yeah, I
you-
enjoyed it
'cause
on day of release. I
didn't,
took a week
but
off to
you
play it.
kind of-
Yeah, I had a great time.
that's what I mean, yeah.
And the Phantom Liberty DLC expansion is amazing.
Fixed a lot of
The
it.
voice work, the
that the Idris
storytelling.
Elba one?
It is, yeah. And
Yeah.
Idris Elba loved his time in there. And obviously they're working on the next Witcher game, but there's going to be more Cyberpunk, which is great. Dungeons 4. Love these basically Dungeon Keeper spiritual successor. Now it's fourth one. And Alan Wake 2. Didn't quite make it on my best of. I wanted it to, but as I ranted earlier, it definitely wasn't with those hiccups. So yeah, those are my honourable mentions anyway.
Nice. Mine's in a different order. I subbed them down into games, series, and movies as well. I've also got an other section.
Okay, cool.
And I've also I've got a most
remember we've
honourable.
got the Rumble to get through.
I know. Well, good job it's not until one. I've also got like a most honourable mentions, which is like this stuff was so
honourable mentions.
fucking there. But anyway,
Almost
well, if you
honourable
shut up, I'll
mentions.
get through it. So games, I've got the Resident Evil 4 remake, which is like how to do a remake.
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok Valhalla DLC, free DLC, which is like this roguelike.
Yeah, man, I
playthrough.
thought both of these would be in your
Fucking
10.
great fun. Sea of Stars, that was great. JRPG. Super Mario Wonder, got it for the kid on Christmas. Played it with her most Christmas Day on her Switch. Not from this year, but Far Cry 5. I picked it up on Game Pass. Really enjoyed it.
Okay,
Played
yeah.
through the whole thing. Started playing Far Cry 6. That sucked. And Rise of the Tomb Raider that I already mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Series Superfan, which is the wrestling documentary.
Oh,
about,
yeah, with Vlad. Yeah, that was amazing.
so good.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows season 5. Just keep pumping that into my
I
face.
didn't
It's
watch
awesome.
any of it last year.
Oh, it was so good.
I haven't finished the season before, actually. I've got some catching up to do.
It doesn't miss.
I
It's
keep
just
saying
great.
to Linda because it's on Disney Plus that we should just. fucking
Oh, you
start
should.
it.
Oh, you have to. Yeah,
You-
have
the
to.
kid, like, we all watch it together.
Yeah.
I got Wrestlers as well. Secret Invasion, that was fun. It was all right. Loki season 2, slow start but picked up. Enjoyed it by the end. Arnold's documentary, Sly's documentary on Netflix were both great. Full Monty at one point was absolutely in my top 10 of the year. This was just a really hard list to beat stuff out. But the
Yeah.
Full Monty series was great because it didn't rely on the premise of the original movie. It wrote an original story and moved the characters on really well. I'm now thinking I should put it back into my top 10. It was very good. Archer season 14. I've always loved Archer. Peaks and troughs. Season 14 was fun.
Yeah.
What If season 2?
Oh, what if
do you
season
know
2
what?
was great.
What If season 2 was really good. It was again, up
The
there was a couple
Die Hard
episodes.
episode.
The fucking Christmas episode.
The
We
Christmas
watched it
ep-
on Christmas Eve. Me and my mate
It's-
drunk. It was brilliant.
It's on my Christmas list now.
It is absolutely
What a
brilliant.
Christmas, just because it was so fun.
And the latest episode, series of I Think You Should Leave, which just watch it. I'm not even gonna.
Okay.
Movies, I've got Old Dads, Bill Burr. I really enjoyed that. Cocaine Bear as well. It's just a fucking great film. Come on. Knock at the Cabin. I very rarely say anything positive about a Shyamalan movie since Unbreakable, but I really
I'm glad
enjoyed
that's
Knock
on
at the Cabin.
your short list as
Yeah,
well.
it was
Dave
really
Bautista.
enjoyable film.
I'm telling
Bautista's
you,
fucking
Dave
great.
Bautista is
Rupert Grint was really fun.
Rupert
The whole
Grint was
cast.
fucking great as well.
One of the dads was the guy from Mindhunter, right?
Yes.
Really good in it. Don't know his name. He's really good in it.
Yeah.
Sisu.
Sisu was great fun.
Sisu was great.
Love that. Yeah.
A lot of people complain
add that
about
to my
it,
short
but
list too.
I'm just
Absolutely.
like, it was just a fun hour and a half of watching Nazis get the fuck out.
Yeah. Old Man as well. Stephen Lang film. It's a bit more of a psychological movie. I won't spoil it at all, but really worth your time.
Okay.
Little Bone.
Can he see in that one?
Yeah. He's not blind. He's just mental.
He's just mental, yeah.
Little Bone Lodge, which is a great little horror movie, and When Evil Lurks as well, which
the Argentinian one.
very good right up until the end.
The thing is, I
you
got
watched
that
it?
film from.
No, I've been meaning to for like 6 months now.
Right,
Dude,
I
there's
got the
a,
film from you, right?
Yeah, you did.
It
Yeah.
needs subtitles.
It needs subtitles. Oh well, just
Dude,
I
there's
flicked through it. I watched all the gory bits.
Got
I
you
went,
the film.
that looks good.
there's a scene in that movie, without trying to spoil anything too bad, but there's a
You can probably spoil it now. It's been out for about 2
practical
months.
effect in it that involves the family dog,
Yeah,
and it is fucking
there
jarring.
are some really good horrific moments in that movie that you're like, oh my god, how come people have not done this before? And much like Terrifier, those are the moments that are sticking with a lot of people who've watched it, going, oh my god, it was sick. Story wise,
I liked it because it was very folklory. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And they do a really good
Story-wise-
job of explaining their background and the lore. It's just, and it's great. It's really, really good. Oh my god, I'm really enjoying this. And the very end of it, I was like, what a fucking letdown. But that's that. But but that was only for me. I'm not saying that.
you might watch anything.
yeah. I still need to get around to this one.
And just like an other list, and this is mostly a list of all the fucking stand-up specials that I've watched this year because I love stand-up and I love stand-up specials. Most of these are on Netflix or Amazon Prime. Tom Segura's Sledgehammer is probably the best one of the year. Shane Gillis, Beautiful Dogs. I can't do a Trump impression, but trust me, watch it. Ricky Gervais's Armageddon was great. Dave Chappelle, Dreamer, still proving he's the fucking GOAT. Bert Kreischer, Razzle Dazzle, watch that with a kid. Chris Rock, Selective Outrage, which, like, if you want to see him go off on Jada and Will Smith, definitely watch that. Yeah. Mark Norman, Soup to Nuts, he's great. Matt Rife, since he got cancelled, we'll shout him out, Natural Selection. John Mulaney, Baby J is great. Jim Jeffries, High and Dry, I loved as well. And then just the a couple of others is just for me is the Money in the Bank pay-per-view because I went to see it and that was a fucking amazing weekend. I'm off to see the Rumble tonight, not literally, but I'm going to sit down with the same group of guys and watch the Rumble. And Download Festival, we decided not to go this year just from we're just going to have a break from it because we normally go, the girls work, they're on stage doing their thing, but getting to meet David Draymond, the lead singer from Disturbed, was pretty
what a moment.
Amazing. A, because I've always been a big fan of him, but B, it's like getting to meet someone who you are a huge fan of and finding out that they're the nicest fucking person.
That's so
is
cool.
the best feeling.
Yeah.
You know, like I haven't had a lot of celebrity interactions, but like I met a couple of people there where I was sort
we're
of like
celebrities.
Exactly. So I haven't had any real celebrity interactions. That's what I'm saying. So where you know, I've sort of, you know, I've gone up to a few, it's like, oh, do you mind if I take a photo? And people are generally like, yeah, sure. And people are polite. But this is the only dude who literally fucking grabbed me, pulled me in, threw his horns up, and like had a conversation with me. And that was before literally just before he went on stage.
That's
and just
cool.
blew up the best fucking set of the weekend, frankly. So yeah, that was great. Fuck, I really should go this year now. So that, like,
Yeah, you took me into wanting to
Just
go.
made me
That's
think
it.
of Jake Snake grabbing my tits back in the day.
I still got that photo. I've still got that
photo,
photo
yeah.
up on my wall. And just like again, very quickly, my most honourable mentions.
hell,
These are
man!
four things that could have easily gone into my top 10. One, Renfield.
Wake me moves first.
Really?
I fucking loved Renfield. I thought it was so much
I need
fun.
to watch Renfield,
and
yeah.
gets the fucking award. I'm gonna give an award every year to the Nicolas Cage movie that Nicolas Cage is the hardest. And Nicolas Cage,
He hit the hardest in that
Nicolas Cage, the hardest in Renfield.
one? Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
I'm gonna do that one. Painkiller. because we decided we couldn't double stamp it, so it's going in my most honourable mentions. It's Painkiller.
Yeah.
Across the Spider-Verse, because I really, really enjoyed
watch
it,
that
but
one with
it
Dylan.
did the same thing as Dune, where
It sets up a bunch of characters. And...
it did more, where it told more story. It had a much more complete story, but basically that movie is a fucking prelude to the next one.
Right.
Which is what kept it up. Still enjoyed it. And John Wick 4.
Nice.
Yay.
Because John Wick 4 is fucking badass, but there was one more film that was a tiny bit more badass than it, in my opinion.
So it pushed
so
it
that
out.
pushed it out, and I replaced it. So there
Nice.
you
Well,
go.
curious to
Sorry,
see
I'm
what that
done.
will be.
God.
Right, well, to say that, I will start with my top 10 list, and then say we'll jump to Gary, and then we'll jump to Andy, and then it'll come back to me again.
Okay.
But starting, so my top 10 list from last year.
Red versus Blue flashbacks where Sarge is like, what's this called? Griffball! First you, then Simmons, then me, then back to me again.
So, like, the guys always make fun of me. I don't watch as much as them because something really has to get my interest, and there's just so much media.
Pull you away from that switch, hasn't
There's
it?
so much media nowadays. I just can't get behind something where I'm not too sure if it's going to last season 1, and it sometimes doesn't even
I
last
agree with
season
that.
2. I can't get into it. Then, another film comes out, and it's a big film. Oh, now we're waiting for the summer blockbuster, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. I'll just wiki it, and I'll get around to it.
Sometimes
later.
there's just so much that you're like you really got to make
just-
me want to spend my
Yeah,
time.
that's
with
it. And I
Yeah.
enjoy my real time for it. But starting my top 10 list, like I said, there's some personal things in here as well that happened last year. So I'll explain it when I get to that. But my number top 10, starting from 10, Barbenheimer. Now, I went and saw Barbie
I'm putting
in the
Painkiller
cinema.
back into my fucking... No.
I went and saw Barbie in the cinema last year simply because people were so talking about it so much. I couldn't say anything negative until
But you
I'd
did.
seen the film. I went and saw the film though. I went and saw the film. I knew I didn't have to see Oppenheimer. It's Nolan. It's Cillian Murphy. Like,
Yeah, it's really good.
What was I not going to enjoy about Oppenheimer? So I didn't have to see it then. I knew it's 3 hours long. I'm going to get it on DVD. I'm going to sit at home at Christmas. I'm going to take the day. Fucking New Year's
Such a
Day.
strange theory.
New Year's Day.
This is going to be really good. I'll fucking show you. I'm going into the thing that's
New
going to
Year's Day. New Year's Day. I got up early. I took the dog for a walk. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. I got back 7:30. He settled down on the sofa. I got myself a coffee. Everybody else was quiet. The house was, it was New Year's Day. The rest of the world was still fucking dying from hangovers. I was sat watching Oppenheimer. And it was fucking amazing. One of the best fucking movies I've seen in a long fucking time. Nolan fucking bashes it on the head again. It completely changed my view on the universe completely. I started to think of things I'd thought of before, but the movie really put it into perspective. Fucking Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy stood there in front
It
of
does
me.
a great job at explaining the science for idiots.
Yeah, but he turns it. There's that part where he stands there.
Because I was like,
He stands there in front of the class, doesn't he? He has one person turn up at his class because it's the new thing that he's going to start teaching people, and he explains to them about light. Light waves. How it goes like one thing and it goes like another, but it can't be both things. But it is both things, and that makes it a contradiction. And he even says that's because the universe is a bit of a contradiction. And I went, oh, holy fucking shit, that's what I've been thinking for like the last 5 fucking years, that the universe doesn't make any fucking sense and everything's just a fucking flip side of the other thing, and it's just whoa! My mind just went. And I, at the same time,
There
while
were
I was,
other people watching the film. At the same time. You were in the room like this.
mate, it was just me, nobody else in the
Linda's
house
like,
to watch it.
I'll watch it
But the
tomorrow.
thing that made me laugh was that is exactly what Barbie and Oppenheimer were about. They were a complete contradiction to each other, and yet both of them were massively successful. Barbie was a movie that everybody tried to, some people tried to, bury into the sand and not let anybody watch it, which made people want to go and see it more. I went and saw it with my wife. I went and saw it with my granddaughters, my stepdaughter, and so I was just like, I'm more wanting to see this and then talk to them about what their perspective is on this movie that's supposed to be about all empowering women than sitting down with you two and fucking asking you two what your fucking impression, because neither of you are interested in it, but they were, and that's what we want from movies.
I took my daughter to see it.
I want to talk to people who are interested in the movie. I don't mind having a conversation with somebody who hates a movie just as much as I hate it, but if I'm going to see a movie and I know that Like, for example, you're going to hate it from the moment it starts.
I don't know if I'm going to hate it. I just don't care to watch it.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's just like I can't talk to you because
I haven't seen it.
That's how you're feeling at the moment. You're not interested in seeing it. You not want to watch it. Oppenheimer, everybody was like, "You need to see this. It's great." And I sat down and I watched it. Like I said, New Year's Day, and the way that he directed when that bomb went off,
Spoilers, motherfucker.
They set it up so well. The effect was done so well. The shockwave, the impact on the people. They're winning awards for it. Maybe they shouldn't be winning as many awards as they are winning for it. They do deserve a few of them. I think Barbie deserves a few of them as well.
Ryan Gosling got nominated.
Mate,
Which is the most hilarious fucking thing ever.
I so want Ryan Gosling to win that award.
He is Knuff. He should.
I want him to win that award and hand it to Margot Robbie and go, "I don't need it, you need it." That's what I want. Because
he's going to spit in her face when he does it.
No. Margot Robbie is one of the best fucking actresses, for the last 10 years. She's fucking amazing. She's got so much range. And people can sit there and say, "I don't believe she does." But hell, she's fucking acting a lot more than we are fucking doing. And she's doing a hell of a lot of fucking...
well, I'm not a professional actor.
No.
I've got a job to
exactly.
go to, dude.
Margot Robbie is. And that's what I'm saying. Barbenheimer, Oppenheimer and Barbie, for me, were two movies last year that I knew I'd really love one. I had mixed feelings about the other, but then coming into 2024...
But you ended up liking Oppenheimer.
Coming into 2024, with both those films done, I'm like, yeah, that was great. Those were two top movies of last year.
Nice. And not only that, it was a big event, moment
Yeah.
That's
as
what
well.
I thought you more meant when you said Barbenheimer. I thought you were talking about the actual event of it.
No, for me, like I said, this is me personally. I didn't want to see Barbie. Why the fuck would I want to see a movie called Barbie? Everyone's like, "Oh, this movie's shit." I'm like, now I need to see it if I want to discuss about it.
It's true,
because
yeah.
people say, "Oh, Ian, you can't talk about a film if you just wicked it." Fuck it, I wicked it. I went and saw it. I watched Oppenheimer, and I went, "Yeah, those two movies were top of fucking last year."
Nice. Alrighty, well, my number 10, first one on my list is a video game. It's Aliens Dark Descent. I put in over 100 hours into this game. I finished it three times now.
The first
I
50 was
streamed
practice.
it. I literally spent a good sizable chunk of my Twitch stream time last year playing Aliens Dark Descent. Managed to stream it on the max difficulty setting. There was a lot of cursing, a lot of swearing, a lot of harsh language. But we got through it.
You did.
It is a janky game. It is not a AAA studio game, but it was made by a development team that were really passionate about the Aliens universe. They did their best, and what they assembled was a mostly coherent story. But the fact that it was a different type of Aliens game,
yes.
It wasn't a first-person shooter, which the majority of them are. The fact that they went for a kind of strategy with it, it doesn't quite work. Like, it's not as precision as, say, XCOM, because it's mostly real-time, though you can pause it. But it was really fun. Like, getting your squad, taking them through missions, leveling them up, getting new gear, getting the smart gun, the pulse rifles, and, fighting alien queens. Some really nice cinematics, some okay voice acting, but they nailed the atmosphere of Aliens very, very well. So, might not be on anybody's top 10 lists of the year. But it is for me.
They didn't nail the atmosphere that well. You had to go and put your own music in there and mod it a little bit to make it more.
Well, they didn't have the rights to the music. They didn't have the rights to all of the sound effects, or they didn't have to have it quite right.
Yeah.
So, some modders have done that. Granted, I like the game's music, but James Horner's Alien score is fucking epic. Yeah. So when you're playing an Aliens game and you want it to be a bit more epic, put James Horner's music in the game, and oh my god, it's even better.
You see, we can finally pre-order Aliens on 4K as well now.
Yes, it's out on streaming, isn't it? The physical is out.
That it comes
I think so. Yeah. So that was my number 10.
Nice. My number 10 is a movie, and I've awarded it Best Comedy of the Year as well.
Oh.
And it's The Machine.
The Russian dude.
Sort of. So the film follows the story of comedian Bert Kreischer, who got famous telling a story of how on a college trip to Russia he befriended the Russian mafia and robbed a train, all while cultivating the persona of the Machine, which is the hard-drinking American party animal. And his past comes back to haunt him when one of his victims, a Russian godfather whose family heirloom was stolen, which was a watch, sees the story told online and basically threatens Bert's daughter, forcing him to return to Russia to with his estranged father in tow, played by Mark Hamill.
Nice.
Not the first time he's going to appear on my top 10. To help recover the watch. And all the time he's dealing with feuding Russian mob family, local villagers, and a bunch of Bert's own vices as he's going along. So this is a movie that I was really looking forward to coming out because, again, me and especially my daughter Jessica, we follow the podcast and everything like that. We really like the stand-up. So when we found out, because the whole point is, like, the thing that launched Bert Kreischer into superstardom as a comedian is his The Machine story. You know, again, you can watch it on Netflix or the internet. So this is then him turning what is essentially a comedy, story into an entire movie to follow on from it. Like I said, Mark Hamill's playing his dad. This is a great action comedy that we need more of, in my opinion. This is like going back to when The Hangover was doing it really well. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely adored watching it with Jessica. It's one of those movies where the song choices as well, and hearing the way he talks about certain experiences, especially when you listen to the podcast, you can tell he just really enjoyed making this movie as well. If you're a fan, you've probably already seen it, to be honest, if you follow the podcast. But if not, if you just liked a good action comedy movie, it's absolutely right up there with the best of them, I think.
Nice, yeah.
My number 9, like I said, my list actually involves a lot of personal things that happened to me last year. And one of the things, this is going to pop up a couple of times, actually. One of the things that happened last year was our good friend Phoenix Shroud, who is one of our loyal chauffeurs for the channel, helped me purchase some stuff. Actually, I'm hoping the wife's not hearing this. Helped me purchase some stuff through eBay last year because he's a bit of an eBay expert. The motherfucker spends a lot of time on there. He's bought a lot of good stuff. He knows how to find the good deals. And one of the good deals he got me last year was Star Trek Catan. Now I'm a bit of a Catan fan. If you don't know, it's a board game where basically each player can build up resources and build towns. Like the most standard one is basically set in like medieval times.
It's the Oregon Trail on a board.
Yeah, and you get wood and you get coal and you get something else, and then you can build a settlement. And the more villages you have, once you get to a certain number, you win the game. And there was a Star Trek version, and I'd been looking for the Star Trek version for at least the last 5 fucking years, and it was really difficult to find a copy that was in a good enough condition and wasn't massively expensive.
Sure.
And I was just fingers crossed. One day it comes up, and through talking to Phoenix Shroud, whenever he's on eBay and he's like, "Oh look, I'm going to buy this game and I'm going to buy that game," and I was talking to him about games, and then one day he just turned around and went, "Well, I've just found this Star Trek Catan for 30 quid. You want me to put a bid in for you?" And I'm like,
Yes.
Well, I wanted to say yes, but it's kind of difficult because I'm like, I've never spoken to Phoenix Shroud in person. I don't know who he is. Really only talking through Discord through the messages and stuff.
Didn't get it.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm like,
Whoops.
how do we work this? And he's just like, look, give me your address. I'll pay for it. Which I was just like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then you can just, once it gets to you, then you just send me the cash. Yeah. Because the bank transfers are pretty easy that day, and you can do it all kind of easy like that. For then when it to turn up and it's in my hands and I've got all the little Star Trek ships and the little planets and there's little cloud. I'm a fucking Star Trek fanboy. I don't watch it all because I can't do it all. But board games in itself, I love. Like I said, I love Catan. It's a really nice family game. I've got the Star Trek version of it now. Phoenix Shroud, big shout out to you.
Nice one, dude.
That was my number 9.
Nice. My number 9 is Talk to Me.
Mm-hmm.
This was a film about a group of friends that discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand, and they become hooked on this new thriller. It's like a drug. And then one of them goes too far and unleashes terrifying supernatural forces. And I don't want to spoil it in case you do want to get around to seeing this one. One of my favourite horror films of last year. Really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting the film to go full-on Evil Dead at one point.
It did at one point. Yeah.
So I was. It was a real thrill ride, and interestingly, it's a new IP in horror.
Yes.
Which already it looks like it's got sequels and prequels
Is this A24?
coming.
Is that A24? I
no, I
assume
don't-
they all are now.
Yeah, me
It's
too. Because the
A24.
moment you say that, I'm like, yeah. But I don't know because it was two Australians that I think they had like a YouTube channel at one point, and then they just went and made a movie.
Right on. Yeah.
So yeah, it was a real surprise. Great Australian cast, some great horror moments. Really looking forward to the next one.
You know how, like, I don't mean to go off topic or anything, and we'll jump to Andy in a second, but you know how they put their hand into it and it grabs their hand and they go into the world, right? Anybody put it on their junk?
No.
They totally should do that in the sequel.
You've got to say something for talk
It's
to
like,
me.
you know,
Yeah.
like, talk to me now.
Well, the thing is, the ghost that you
And they
see,
laugh like Mickey Mouse.
it's pretty horrific. These ghosts, so it's not. And I mean,
From what I saw, they
I
got
mean,
white
unless
eyes.
that is your kink, I suppose, is like rotting corpses.
You didn't know?
Heard worse.
Go ahead, put it on your junk.
Put on your junk. Yours, Andy.
So my number 9, and this wins best comic book movie of the year for me as well, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Ah,
It was
nice. Yeah,
so
it was so
good.
good. Yeah, a lot of fun.
This to me as well is the MCU now has got a perfect trilogy.
Yes.
as
Yeah.
well.
Guardians trilogy, yeah.
You know, this is like the fact that we get, I mean, you know, synopsis wise, you got after an attack on Nowhere, you know, we leave Rocket in a critical condition. The Guardians set off on a mission to save him whilst also uncovering through flashbacks his frankly horrific past.
Those fucking animals, man. Don't
Dude,
fucking
this is like such a if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, it's just a great space adventure with a fucking banging soundtrack.
Soundtrack, yeah.
I literally wrote down 4 little critters are going to break your heart
Oh yeah.
in this movie. Jessica can't watch it again. She
sure.
won't watch it again,
I've been
you know?
wanting to watch all 3
And-
again.
Well, I rewatched it recently, actually, before this, obviously, and I just picked out a few of my favourite bits from it because it's more of the same, don't get me wrong, but it's more of the same stuff that's good.
Yeah.
Drax saying at the very start, only idiots dance in his first scene, and then dancing out his last scene in the
Yeah.
MCU was
Yeah.
pretty fucking glorious. It's got, I think, one of the best MCU villains in some time. Frankly.
The higher
Evolutionary,
Yeah.
yeah. Nathan Fillion.
was amazing again.
I thought that Will Poulter's Adam Warlock was
Will
hilarious.
Poulter's
I get,
amazing.
okay, if you're a fucking huge Adam Warlock fan, I get that's not quite what he was like.
Yeah.
But it had to work for the story.
It was great. I thought Kraglin and Cosmo were fucking adorable.
Oh, man.
When he finally
Bad
gives
dog.
her the good
Don't
dog.
call
at
me
the end.
bad dog. You take that back.
Nathan Fillion.
Again.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
Yeah.
Get in the fucking car just made me fucking laugh out loud.
Yeah.
They always sneak swearing in, whether
They
it's
do,
actually.
they do.
Sometimes it's group
Yeah.
saying it and you don't know it, but
Yeah.
you know, had some of the most emotional scenes in the MCU, great action, script, and execution. And Nathan Fillion!
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I'm here for that.
I'm fucking all over Guardians of the Galaxy 3. It was great.
I've been wanting to do all 3 again because they are just absolutely brilliant. But I've come to realise that the beginning of Guardians 1 is going to break your heart.
Yeah.
The middle of Guardians 2
Is gonna-
ends up breaking your heart.
And
then
3 does it again.
The ending of
Guardians 3
number
is just a
3.
ground and pound.
And I'm like,
constant fucking.
I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do that to
You know what I
myself.
would
Just
say as well
fucking
is,
break.
again, after rewatching it recently, it's one of the better CGI fest movies as well.
As
It
well,
looks
yeah.
pretty good. You know, they make as much sort of like those suits that they're wearing on the Omniscope.
I like-
It's fucking hilarious.
I like
a
Floor.
little bit at the end, like the fucking war pig and stuff. Tiny bit ropey, but then when they all start fighting in that great
Yeah,
one shot,
that
it
one
kind of all
shot.
comes together
It's
really
fucking
well.
great.
Agreed. Agreed.
So yeah, fucking the superhero
free.
fatigue is real. I'll
Yeah,
totally
it is,
acknowledge
it
it.
is,
Do you know what
yeah.
I mean? However, that one was fucking boss.
Yeah.
It-
Yeah. I agree the superhero fatigue is there, but I think I'm just becoming more selective with which ones I
that's
watch now.
that's what
absolutely.
I am. Like I said a couple of years ago, I'm not doing DC movies anymore because they all suck balls. And so because I took DC and I'll go one further. I watched Blue Beetle. That was really enjoyable, even though it's got no fucking connection to any DC movie at all.
I think you just answered your own question. Why?
But I was selective because I was like, I'm not watching Aquaman because that looks bullshit. I'm not watching Shazam 2 because that looks bullshit. I'm watching Guardians 3 because I love the first 2 Guardians, and I'll watch Blue Beetle because it's got him from fucking Cobra Kai in it, and I like him.
Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. My number 7. We're on 7 now. My number 7 is another shout out to
We're on
our
8.
boy.
Yeah.
10, 9, 8. Yeah, sorry. Number
No,
8, sorry.
that is the sequence, yes.
my number 8 is another shout out to our boy Phoenix Shroud, and a big shout out to our boy from Barnsley, Nella BOW. These guys helped me pick up last year something I'd been looking for the last fucking 20 fucking years, and now I actually fucking have all three, and I can't fucking believe it. It is my Terminator 2 Marvel Comics.
Nice.
Just before Christmas.
Is this tactical?
Why?
Is this basically buy me shit and you'll get on the top 10?
No.
Okay.
This is not.
I know you too well.
They earned their spot on there because last year
you earned
I
your
was
spot,
sat
guys.
there, I was watching wrestling, I saw there was a fucking copy
Patreon's
of
not
Terminator 3 Marvel comic book, and I've been wanting these comic books since I had them as a fucking 12-year-old. I've been wanting to get these comic books back. And I found one up in Barnsley for 20 quid, and I messaged Nella that night. I'd had a few beers, and I'm like, dude, if you're close by, could you just pick it up? And like with the board game I did with Phoenix Shroud, I'll send you the cash. He's like, dude, it's your birthday soon. I bought it. It was only £5. I'll send it to you. And I was like, man, I fucking love you for that. This fucking comic book was fucking... And I brought it up in the podcast, and we talked about it. And then Phoenix Shroud was messaging me going, oh, by the way, Ian, I found part 1 and 2 on eBay. For £5 each. Do you want them? And I'm like, fucking course I fucking want them. You get those motherfuckers. Because we'd already been...
Linda's not going to let you near them.
She's going to take my phone off me. And because we'd already been through the fucking Star Trek Catan thing, I knew that it would work, that he would buy it, send it to me, and then I would send him the cash. And so now I have all 3 copies of the Terminator 2 comic. Now, I don't care what people say, but if you are a Terminator 2 fan, you have to at least... try to get these fucking things in your collection. Otherwise, you're just owning DVDs. I have Terminator 2, and now I have the fucking comic books that go along with them that came out in 1992. These things will be worthless in the fucking future, and people will use them as toilet paper. To me, at the moment, they're fucking worth their weight in fucking gold. There are sequences in that, right? There's sequences in the comic book that you only see in the director's cut of the movie. You know that whole bit where he gets blown up, the T-1000, he comes back together, and then he puts his hand in the thing and he shakes it off?
Yeah.
That's in the fucking comic book. That's not in the fucking movie. So that's how fucking awesome these comic books are to me, that I'm looking at, I'm like, oh my god, that's in that part of the movie, and that's part of that part of the movie, and I'm reading it, and I'm going back to being 12 years old. But more than that, like I said, between Nella finding it, getting it from me because I found it on the internet, and then Phoenix Shroud going out of his way to get me the other 2. I now have 3 of the best comic books. On top of that, going with the Alien 3 comic books that I bought from Marvel because they released the Alien special edition that I bought around and I showed you. My
that
god,
omnibus is amazing.
fucking that omnibus, gotta be was fucking 90 quid. Fucking that shit don't leave my fucking house. I read it once, put it on the shelf. I put it over to Gary, put it back on the shelf. It stays the fuck there.
Yeah.
So yeah, big shout out to my fucking boys for helping me out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm on my number 8.
Number 8.
This is another movie for me at number 8. This is The Holdovers. The Holdovers is about a cranky history teacher at a remote prep school, and he's forced to remain on campus over the Christmas holiday with a group of troubled students, one in particular, and they've got no place to go. There's also a grieving cook that stays there over the Christmas period as well. This is starring Paul Giamatti, and in my opinion, it's the best performance he's ever given in film.
Yeah.
So if you like a good acting piece, if you like Paul Giamatti, you have to see The Holdovers. Great acting, story, and drama. It was from director Alexander Payne, and this is the guy that also directed About Schmidt, Sideways, and Downsizing.
Sorry.
No worries. So the director has gone on to say that he is really doesn't like the label that this film's getting as a Christmas movie. It's kind of upset him a little bit. Now, he's hoping that people can still enjoy this outside of that Christmas period,
Like
which I think
Die
you
Hard.
can.
Like
Die Hard.
You like Die Hard.
Because it's a personal story.
Yeah.
How it takes place over Christmas, but the drama in there, the dialogue, the performances, I don't want to go into the details, but it's like, watch the trailer and you will have pretty much seen the entire movie, but watch the movie, get 2 hours out of it, go on this journey with those characters, you won't forget it. I think it's absolutely one of the best films of the year, without a doubt. And Paul Giamatti, like you see him in lesser roles sometimes, and you're like, there's such a great performance hiding within you to just come out. Just needs the right script and director, and here we go. Obviously, worked with him in Sideways all those years ago, 20 years ago.
He does. Paul Giamatti, even though he hasn't had huge, massive roles, he is so good as those little ones that you still remember. Every time somebody mentions Paul Giamatti to me, Man in the Moon.
Man in the Moon, yeah.
Man in the Moon with Jim Carrey, the way he works with him, because it feels like he is the guy he's being. Or he's Danny DeVito's.
Yeah.
No. He's the friend of Jim Carrey, but the way he goes back and forth with Jim.
Was it?
Danny
You know what's funny to
DeVito.
say about that being a biopic as well is I loved him in Private Parts. You know, the Howard Stern one.
Yeah.
As
Man, he was great
fucking
in
Pig Vomit, and that was so funny.
He was great in. You still haven't seen that yet, have you? Fucking not Menace to Society. Fucking
Rock of Ages.
No,
He was in that.
the NWA movie, Straight Outta Compton. He was great in that as well.
Okay, yeah.
He's
Not
great
seen
in
that
Oh,
that.
it's
as
the
well.
guy who killed Eazy-E, yeah?
He's the guy who killed
Yeah.
Eazy. Game mates.
Spoilers.
It's no, don't.
It's my theory.
Okay,
It's my theory.
okay.
Same as
Ghostbusters. It's
same
right
as the
up
Foo
there,
Fighters guy killed Kurt Cobain with Karen.
Cool, yeah, that was my number 8.
Foo Fighters,
Holdovers.
My number 8, which we'll
Number
both
8.
talk about because my number 8 is also your number 7 to continue to
Ah,
confuse things
yeah.
more and more. But my number 8 and winner of best horror movie of the year, as far as I'm concerned, was Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree.
Keep it simple, stupid, baby. Let's.
My favourite horror movie of the year as well.
I absolutely adored it. Again, the newest entry into the Evil Dead franchise. We got a new family having to fight off the powers of the Necronomicon. Produced by Raimi and Campbell as well. Just everything from the opening drone shot as the evil, which was just fucking great. I mean, we talked about it on the podcast, didn't we?
We did a whole
Man,
special, yeah.
I got something to say in a minute, so say your thing. I got something to say. To you.
No, go on.
Oh, well, you know, I said that me and Miley sat down and watched Exorcist.
Yeah.
So before we sat down and watched that, I said to Linda, "Man, I should watch Evil Dead Rise with Miley." And she was like, "No, you can't. It's Evil Dead. It's horrible." I'm like, "Okay, let's put The Exorcist on then."
Yeah, I was waiting to see where that was going. So yeah. Yeah, no, I loved everything about the performance of, you know, Jessica as she's possessed.
Yeah. Alyssa Sutherland, I think she is
Oh my god.
absolutely amazing as a Deadite. Like, her performance as the Deadite
Ellie. Sorry, is her name, isn't it? Sorry, Jessica's in the start of it, I think.
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
it's Lily Sullivan who plays the new, sort of the badass, the one with the chainsaw at the end. And just her caked in blood as well. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
Just,
it's like we said, they could have just pushed the envelope a little bit more, but they kept it so well that it you know, for an Evil Dead movie, it hits that line
She's
really
so
great.
standout. I love the way she embodied the mannerisms of the Deadites. Like, they've always got that fucking...
The elevator
Dead-
sequence was great.
The elevator sequence is great. The Deadites have always got the ability to say the worst possible thing to each person to get them where they are. And when she's in that bathtub and she's like, "Mummy's with the maggots now," it's like,
the dialogue.
Like, you know, that whole scene where she's talking to her through the peephole, you know, is just purely fucking, like, you know, great. You know, you see stuff happening like off screen and stuff when she's attacking people.
Yeah.
The fodder is great. Using the other neighbours as fodder, you know, was brilliant. The way they brought it up to date, get him, you know, he's on the DJ decks, and that's how he opens up the
It's so good.
Yeah.
was fantastic. And it was kind of like, I thought it was kind of just the right amount of nostalgia.
Yes.
To the
yes,
point
the
where
nods,
I think we said, like, great, you know, the fact that she rocks up
Henrietta
with a fucking,
pizzas.
she
and-
rocks up with a fucking chainsaw, she drops, "Come get some." It's all there and it's great.
That's
But
what
it
I
was
mean.
also enough that made me go, great, and now let's move away from it in the next one and stuff. I hope they do that. But again, considering we did a horror, you know, post of, like, you know, these are the top movies, and we ended like with Evil Dead as the winner.
Yeah.
It's another one that's like, great, you're still there. That only adds to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's
I've
still
Still
consistently
not done a bad
good.
film.
I'm wanting to this year when Miley comes down. Like I said, we just done Exorcist. This year, I'm kind of wanting to go backwards with with the series. I want to do Evil Dead Rise with her, then the remake, and then if she's still like, "Oh, Granddad, can we watch the originals?" I'll be like, "Here we go. You're about to see some crazy ass shit." And then when she walks out midway through Evil Dead 2, I'll be like, "Bye. I'm still going to stay here till Army of Darkness because I've got a fucking quota to do with Bruce Campbell and I can't just walk down this bitch." My number 7 is a shout out to a series that I watched. It finally came into season 2 last year on Netflix. I've been waiting for season 2 for a little while. I'm probably gonna have to wait a little while for season 3, but I don't care because I've been loving this fucking anime series since I first saw it on Netflix. Kengan Azura. I love manga, I love anime, but I can't take it all. There's so much, and there's so many fans that you get kind of overburdened by people going, oh, you need to watch this, you need to watch that, you need to read this first, you need to go read that, you need to know these characters, you know, do that. And I'm like, fuck off. Mm-hmm. I need to do what I want to fucking do, and I still need to get through my Dragon Ball fucking series that Dylan's been buying me. I've got fucking like 10 box sets of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
As I say, it's going back like a year and a half now.
And yeah, 9 of them are still wrapped in their
Jesus
plastic because I haven't got past season 1 yet.
Can't imagine anything worse.
But
That switch down, Ian.
I know, I should do. But every now and again, something comes up, and Kengan Azura came up. The first series, I believe, came out in 2019, and I just saw a trailer on Netflix, and I was like, "Oh, that looks really good." And I watched the first episode, and then you know what you like. You hit the first episode, and you're like, "I need to watch next one." Got to the end of the first series. It's about all the corporations. I think it's around the world, or it could just be in Japan, and all these corporations get together for this kind of secret fighting tournament. They all spend all of their money that they can to hire the kind of toughest, nastiest fucking fighters around the world. And then you get them into kind of like a King of Iron Fist Tekken tournament thing. Some of them have magical powers. Some of them are pure fucking demonic. Some of them are just nasty with their fists. And the main guy that you're following, I can't remember what his name is at the moment, but the main guy, he's got kind of like Squid Games. He's got an agenda. So he's working way through the tournament, being sponsored by this company, so that he can fight all the people. Every time he gets beaten on, he gets the shit fucking kicked out of him, and then he basically just goes into fucking Devil Jin mode and beats the fuck out of him back. But in the second series, he got really good because you could tell that all the damage he's taken on his body is now taking its toll.
Okay.
So when he kind of chills out and when he's relaxed, he's spitting up blood. He can feel his body's breaking down. He knows he hasn't got long, but he's got to use the rest of his strength to get through the rest of the fight. There was this one amazing episode in season 2, I believe it was, where it was a wrestler versus a boxer. And my money was on the wrestler the whole time, and the fight came down to the wire. But the boxer just took it because the wrestler, he could throw, but he just couldn't take that many punches to the face.
Sure.
And
yeah.
the boxer could punch, but if he got taken off of his feet, he got thrown the fuck around. It was amazing!
Okay.
Kengan Azura is fucking great. If you haven't watched it on Netflix, don't ever come talk to me about anime because you haven't seen it. If you want to see some animated characters beat the fucking
I love how you ragged.
shit out
I
of
love
each
how you
other.
ragged on the anime fans and then instantly became one at the
Yes.
end. There as well.
Because like I said, there's just
You
so
didn't
much.
watch this one.
But if you want to see guys beat the fuck out of each other in animated form, Kengan Azura all
Tom
the
and
fucking
Jerry.
way. Not Mortal Kombat,
They
not Street
fucking-
Fighter.
they fuck
Kengan
each other up.
Azura,
Nice.
all the fucking way.
So yeah, my number 7, we literally just discussed this one.
Yeah.
My favorite horror movie of the year, Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, I'm a fan of the franchise. Yeah, I'm a fan of all those that made it. But I don't think it's not just that. I do actually think it's still a very tight, very well made horror movie that just goes. The Evil Dead can still go places. And get more, please.
More, please.
More.
Well, my 7 will kind of be quick as well because we sort of discussed it. This one I'm giving the award for Best Blockbuster and also an award for being my favourite cinema experience of the entire year, and that was Oppenheimer.
Yes.
Ah, nice.
Now, bear in mind, that was my first IMAX experience as well.
Sweet, yeah.
So that was pretty fucking amazing on its own. Mostly for the sound quality I found.
Downey
as well.
Jr. was outstanding.
He was,
He
yeah.
was
They were
outstanding.
all great. I loved. I mean, the cast is what made it because again, I didn't really look into how many were in it, and everyone's in it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we weren't in it. There's
Yeah.
fucking everyone's in that fucking
Man.
movie, dude. So you were watching this bit where they're in court, and I'm like, it's the fucking mayor from Buffy.
Yeah.
What is happening? It's and it was a movie. The best compliment I can give it just off the bat is the fact that I took a friend that does not sit through 3-hour just talky biopics, whatever you want to call them, with very little action in, frankly, and he's like, that's the best film I've ever fucking seen.
Yeah.
That's the best compliment that I can give it, you know?
That's
Obviously
great.
being based on American Prometheus, you know, the novel as well, like, you know, chronicling the inception and the fallout of the Manhattan Project. The use of like color versus black and white for like first hand. Yeah. Basically, it's like anything that Oppenheimer was there to witness was in color, and then if he wasn't, it was subjective as black and white. Took me 2 days to work that out. Yeah. Okay, like halfway through a work day, I was like, oh, I get it. Like when I was
took him 2
about
days.
It was literally, but
saying that, I told you about the square box I washed it in, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's the wrong aspect ratio.
I just didn't set the aspect radio on my TV.
Oh, they've done another Justice League on me.
Watching this little box. It was still amazing.
I the wordless performances from Cillian Murphy when he's just looking down the barrel and just still without saying a word manages to just express the brevity of what he has done for a man who just really, I genuinely believe, didn't want to do anything but help the world and ended up essentially potentially destroying it. But then, he's all there, man, and it's just in his. He's not actually even looking at you. He's looking off camera.
That was the amazing thing, because once they took him away from that, he didn't have the blame. Do you know what the one sequence that still sticks in my mind, and I couldn't believe
when he's naked in the chair?
Yes. Yes, when he was sat there in the chair with Florence Pugh sat on him and fucking Emily Blunt sat behind him looking at him, I'm like, whoa, nobody fucking mentioned this was in the fucking sequence.
No, there's a lot of people that did, because a lot of people complained about those sequences.
I heard you saw his cock. I was devastated when you didn't. Spoilers.
Yeah. It was.
I wanted to see his Peaky Blinder, man. I was like, let's go.
Oppenheimer was a pimp motherfucker. He knew shit. It
was a great movie. But yeah, again, I think that in a year where the blockbuster, in theory, died. Yeah. Because, man, some money was lost on blockbusters.
Oh, yeah. Massively. There was a year of flops for Disney last year.
I totally observed fucking what Barbie did. It was incredible how much money it made, and good for it, because fucking it needed to be more. It could have made
more if it came out the week before and destroyed Flash.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think it made all the money. But Oppenheimer was at least one of those movies that I was like, well, thank fuck it can still deliver now and again. And also, I will point out, fucking no sound issues this time. Thank you, Christopher Nolan. We have random ass sound mixing that you can do now and again. I know a lot of people are like, fucking every movie it sounds terrible. I don't normally have a problem with his movies. Then I watched Tenet and I was like, fuck, they might be onto something, because Tenet was tough to watch with the way the sound design was. This one, I heard every fucking word, and it was perfect. And when that, again, maybe it was IMAX. I've not sat down and watched it on Blu-ray, for example, but man, when that bomb goes off, the noise, the flash, and then the pull,
the sound design is amazing.
I'm not exaggerating. It hit me in the chest, and I felt it hit me. I felt it move through me.
That was shockwave.
I thought shit for a minute. It was so weird. Loved it. Yeah, very great film.
Number 5, yes?
6. Fucking hell.
Okay, number 6. This is another.
You haven't really got a top 10, have you? You fucked
I just counted.
You've only got 9, and you're trying to.
4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5, 10. Right.
So number 6.
Number 6. This is another shout out, and I'm hoping he's still there in the live chat while we're here. And if you're hearing this after, man, you wait for it. I'm gonna go fucking right into it. This is a shout out to my boy Jay, the Living Selfie. What up, Jay?
What up, Jay?
Last year, I didn't expect him to do anything. I bought him a birthday present when it was at the earliest start of the year, just to say thank you for all of his help, for being so supportive with the show. You being always there, chilling out, watching AEW with me on a Friday. So I bought him something nice. And then it got to the end of the year, and then he sends me a message, and he goes, "Ian, I'm sending you something in the post." And I was like, what? Is it a decapitated head? Because I'll be really upset. And I was just expecting a t-shirt. And I had mentioned a couple of times how I hadn't seen Nope. And I was still wanting to see Us. And I'm a massive fan of Jordan Peele's stuff. So I didn't need to rush out and see his films, because in my mind, same as I did with Oppenheimer, I was just like, I'm going to enjoy those 3 films whenever I see it, because it's Jordan Peele and I love his work. And then Nope came out, and a lot of people were talking about how great it was. A lot of people talked about how they just hated it and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't care. I'm going to sit down and fucking watch it. And so Jay sends me in the post 2 gifts. Like, I was expecting one, and then he goes, oh, by the way, I bought you a second. I'm like, motherfucker, what the fuck are you fucking doing? And so it turns up in the post just before Christmas. I get a trilogy box set of DVD, Jordan Peele movies, Get Out, Us, and Nope. And then on the other side, he got me an AEW MJF figure.
Class.
Not a lot of people know this, but while we've been in the Discord, while we've been sat in the sports bar on a Friday watching AEW, Jay has slowly become a wrestling fan. He wasn't a massive one before, but he got behind MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who was the AEW heavyweight champion at the time. You know, won the title. Jay was really excitable, and he went out and got me this figure. Now, it's really special because I don't go out and buy lots of wrestling figures. I don't go out and buy a lot of stuff. It has to be special. It has to be collectibles. Like the McCready figure you got me for Christmas. Well, Gary got me this fucking amazing.
It's not in the top 10 of Ian's best.
It's not in the top 10. It doesn't need to be. It's on my fucking side. It's fucking amazing. I keep meaning to bring it over so I can show you, but it's not leaving my motherfucking house.
Understandable.
Yeah. Getting this AEW figure, which is now sat next to the McCready figure, this was just really special that Jay would go out and get me this figure. And then he got me the trilogy box set so I could sit down and watch it. And I sat down and watched Nope. And it was fucking amazing. I absolutely loved it. I sat down and I watched Us. And I personally really liked Us before I'd even watched it because I thought it was a really unique idea. Jordan Peele was coming out with his new ideas of movies. I know a lot of people didn't get it or enjoy it at the time because there was a lot of controversial things going on in the world of news and especially in America. So Jordan Peele coming out with saying all African American cast and this whole new idea. Us is under fucking rated in my fucking opinion. The way that he was seeing the world at that time, the way that, you know, the fucking music that happens in that film when that woman's trying to call the police and she's fucking been stabbed in the neck and fuck the police comes on the fucking Amazon Echo. I was dying. So much so when I watched Nope and you just watch all those people just kind of look up as fucking Jean Jacket comes down and then you're watching them get fucking dissolved in that sequence.
Amazing.
Oh my fucking God. You know?
Nope, I thought it was visually great. Yeah.
So this is why I had to shout out, and this is why, like I said, like watching TV programs all the time is great. Personal moments like this, like I said, with the Catan, with the Terminator 2 comics, with getting a figure from Jay, it's a bond. It's a special thing. You know? So big shout out to Jay. Thank you very much for my presents. Thank you to Phoenix Shroud and Nello as well. Big shout outs. Big shout out to Gary for getting my shit. I've got more shout outs. Fucking yeah. Gary, you're number 6.
Yeah. Well, we're running extra overtime, so I'm going to zip through my number 6 very quickly, and that is Moon.
Yeah, sorry, by the way, if you
Man.
see me text this because I'm telling people that I'm picking up for the run, like, I'm running fucking late.
Yeah, we're running late.
Yeah.
Oh, it's only 10 o'clock. We still got like an hour to go. Well,
Moon
Yeah,
Man. I talked about this one quite a bit during the year. This was the film that released in China in 2022. Then it released in other parts of the world last year. It's basically about an astronaut that gets left on the moon during a mission where an asteroid hits the Earth, and now he's the last man alive. And he's also left on the moon with an experimental kangaroo that goes by the name of Roo, that becomes pretty much his companion in the apocalypse.
Right.
But then there's lots of things that happen. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but the film has some genuinely brilliant, heartwarming, soulful, teary moments.
He eats that
just
fucking
swell.
kangaroo.
Their friendship is amazing. The special effects are outstanding. Okay, it's a subtitle film. I know a lot of people are not going to watch it. It's very difficult to get to be able to see it. But yeah, if you want a sci-fi comedy horror with a lot of soul and a lot of passion, a lot of heart, check out Moon Man. It's going to be one of those films that's going to probably disappear. It's going to be hard to find, but go out of your way, see if you can get a copy. I think you'll really enjoy it.
CX will have on DVD.
That was my number
Yeah,
6.
no doubt. My number 6, and giving this the award for best adaptation, is The Last of Us.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. It really was great.
Been a fucking fan of the Naughty Dog series, obviously, since they started. I know there's only 2 of them, but there's like 9 different versions, obviously, across
Crash
2
Bandicoot.
Naughty Dogs.
No, there's like 9 different versions of both games.
Oh,
across,
yeah, that's true.
Across like 4 generations of consoles. So
I hear The Last of Us Part 1's getting another remaster.
yeah, it's about that time of year.
PS1 remake as well.
Yeah, obviously, based on the apocalypse, caused by an aggressive fungus that turns its victims into mindless, infected attackers.
I love the pre-episode
I
bits.
said that. I thought the start of the
Set the
episode
tone.
was brilliant.
Yeah.
The fact that they, in a short amount of episodes, managed to play out the plot of the first game, whilst also going, you know what, we're going to just go fuck off over here and we're going to totally expand on this character. Like the episode with Bill with Nick Ottoman was just...
That in of itself
Just
is already
fucking
being
great.
almost greenlit as its own
Is that the guy from
sideshow.
Parks and Recreation?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even
100%.
have to see it.
There's
but
people
that was-
arguing for them
that
to
was
have their own
amazingly
show,
unique.
their own
Yeah,
spin-off.
It's
so-
amazingly unique just to throw that in.
And I think that they managed to, I mean, it was all there, even with what they changed. They managed, I thought, to stay pretty much true to the games whilst moving at a good pace while doing that. Do you know what I mean? Not just, it's not to say that, like, just blitzing through a 13-hour game campaign and 6 hours of TV, but, like, knowing when to take a breather and go, we're going to go over here now and just do this,
And who doesn't love Pedro Pascal?
He's that fucking man, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's what reminded me. I watched fucking Unbearable Weight of Talent last year. That was fucking amazing.
That's class,
That
yeah.
was fucking amazing.
That was the most Nick Cage of that year.
Cage and
Yeah.
Nick
Nick
Cage.
Cage of that year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I mean, obviously I'm excited for what they're going to do moving on, especially out. I mean, they filmed that, the ending pretty much like the game. And it was at that point where I was actually kind of thinking, man, are you going to put the body count up? Because, not that I minded, but the body count's been pretty low for such a violent game adaptation. But man, when he does that run through that fucking hospital, if they linger on the dude that he shoots, the doctor, because that, spoilers, if you've not played the second one, that's Abby's, that's the reason.
That's the reason.
For the second game.
That's the reason why the internet
I
cried.
loved it. I thought the infected looked great. That noise the clickers make gave me fucking PTSD.
That assault sequence with the big fat
when the
suit
bloater
one,
comes out was fantastic.
That was
insane.
I liked when they did the whole thing of, they're linked. Like, as in, if I put my hand on this vine, they
It
all know I'm
spreads,
here.
Yeah.
But it never came up again.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing I'm like, well, if you're going to
It's
do
set
that,
up, yeah.
I'm kind of like, do that more, because that was kind of interesting, or maybe never talk about it again.
Right. Yeah.
One or the other. But
Yeah.
don't just sort of like put that out there, because that's a great tool to have
point.
to
Yeah,
tell a
yeah.
story. Hey, look, maybe it's something where when they finish second series where they go, we've told the story of season 2, and they're like, well, we want a third season. Like, we got somewhere to go with it, and we can use
Back,
that.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
they do that. So trust the process, I guess. But I really enjoyed Last of Us. I was
It's worthy of being on the list, for sure.
We've never had many good, adaptations of games.
Yeah.
Quick honorable mention: Super Mario was kind of fun.
Oh, you know,
Mario
way more
was
fun than I ever had any
Twisted
right to
Metal.
be.
I'm adding it to my
Metal.
honorable
Twisted
mention.
Metal,
Yeah,
yeah.
Twisted Metal.
So we're getting there. We also
Yeah.
had that fucking Resident Evil shit.
That was a piece of shit.
There is that,
That was a
but
piece of
we're getting there. I think so. Yeah, that was my number 6.
Yeah, number 4 in or 5 if
Yeah,
Yeah, whichever you want to do.
number 5, like I said, personal moments that happened last year. And this was a big one. I almost just went for 5, and then I wasn't too sure where I was going to put this on my list. And then I said to myself, no, fuck it, just go for 10 because you need to put this in on there. Last year, sadly, I don't want to get too emotional, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Last year, sadly, our cat died. Our pet Flash. It was the last day I had to work in the university. I'd been planning for weeks to enjoy my holidays, and the last day that I had to go to work in the university before I came off on holiday, my cat was rushed to the vets, and sadly the vet told us that, like, you could either spend thousands of pounds trying to keep her alive comfortably, or we could just put her down. And so we had to put her down. And it was the harshest thing because I still had to go to work the rest of the day.
Yeah,
we
man,
took the
sucks.
cat to the vet at 5 o'clock in the morning. I still had to go to work at 1 o'clock. I could have used that excuse. My boss even spoke to me after, and she said, you could have just taken that day off. And I was just like, I didn't know what the fuck else I was going to do. I was going to be sat at my home. I knew my cat had passed away. What the fuck was I going to do? But from that, because like I said with Oppenheimer, the universe is a contradiction. From death comes new life. And the wife had listened to me finally after all the years and decided that we were going to get a dog. Even though I really wanted a dog at first before we got the cat, but we got the cat first. Loved my Flash. Loved my Duke. Just, I want to say...
Dogs are better than cats, you can say it.
I want to
It's
say
fine.
it.
Dogs are better than cats.
Mate, he's a
Do you know why I
donut.
know,
He's
do you know how I know that?
fucking
Do you know how I know that? Because I tell my cat that every fucking day.
Yeah, my dog...
I love the dog more than you.
My dog
The
Duke
cat's
is
like,
fucking...
Yeah, he don't give a fuck.
absolutely amazing. When we finish this podcast, I've already said to the wife, when we finish the podcast, because I'm getting up early tomorrow to take him out so I can watch the Rumble, I'm going to go home. I'm just going to take him out of the bedroom because he always goes upstairs to the bedroom with us. He always climbs in the bed with her when I'm not there. I'm going to pick him up and bring him back down the stairs, so then we're going to crash in the front room. He's absolutely amazing. He's a pain in the ass. He eats wallpaper. He eats the fucking paint strip. He will eat every fucking meal that we'll bring out, even if it will fucking
Dogs
kill
are
him.
the best.
He doesn't fucking care. But like I said, from one sad moment with my cat to then getting Duke, the dog, D-Dog as we call him, from Metal Gear Solid 5 as well.
Nice.
You know, so you know what? Fuck, though, I gotta bring it out now. Do you know what fucking pisses me off, though? What fucking pisses me off is that you can just see some fucking owners with their fucking dogs walking around, and their dogs can be so fucking aggressive. Chihuahuas are the most aggressive little fucking cunts in the
short
fucking
man
world.
syndrome.
Fucking sausage dogs as well.
Yeah.
Duke only wants to
Frenchies.
walk up and be friendly with them and talk with them, and these things are like, ah! And I'm like, man, I'll kick your fucking dog over that fence. You don't get the fuck away from me. And they're like, oh, normally he's so friendly. I'm like, really? Because you look like a racist piece of shit. You know,
I escalated. I am.
but like I said,
Damn.
hey, when,
It was,
it's like having a kid, isn't it? When somebody's aggressive dog comes up to your dog and you think it's going to go... Like, I honestly, I was walking Duke one day, and I always try to keep him on the leash because he does get distracted and he runs off. And this dog came up, and I thought they were going to be friendly, and then it tried to attack Duke, and I had to pull Duke around me, and I had to grab the owner's dog by the scruff of his neck, so I've had the training from Duke, grab it by the scruff of the neck and pull it back. And I'm looking at the owner as the owner's kind of walking up to me like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. I'm thinking, you fucking get aggressive at me for grabbing your dog. I'm going to make you eat this fucking dog because you let the dog come up and try to attack my dog, and I will kill you for that. I don't mean to be fucking aggressive. I'm just very protective.
Yeah, it's not coming across.
I'm just very protective of that shit, you know? So, yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
Alrighty. My number 5. Dead Space remake.
Oh!
I know Andy and I don't see eye to eye on this one. I was in Sainsbury's
Not
the other
even
day
close.
doing my shopping, and there's a loud voice from somewhere. It sounded like a complete twat. So I'm like,
That's normally how he sounds. So you listen to the
clearly
podcast
not
back.
for me. Carry on putting me shopping. I'm like, yeah. Dead Space is shit. I'm like, Andy.
It's across like 2 aisles.
Yeah, I love Dead Space remake. I objected the moment EA announced they were doing the remake. I was like, fuck you.
Did you say you
EA.
ejected?
Yeah, I was like, no,
right.
screw you.
Rejected. Not rejected.
Rejected EA. I was like, nah, like that's just awful. Like, especially the way you handled the development team that made Dead
Yeah.
Space, like the way you treated them, then fired them all, and now you go and remake it. Like now you got wind that they're making a new sci-fi, space game. Callisto Protocol, unfortunately, was not the greatest
That
thing.
was not the Dead Space remake people were
And
after.
so yeah, Dead Space for me, it proved that the people that made that game had a real love for the original.
They did,
They developed and enhanced every aspect about it. Granted, yeah, the big change is that Isaac now speaks, but I enjoyed the cinematics in a way.
Unless you look at his face
Well, yeah.
at any point during
I'm
the
gonna
game.
sit back. I'm gonna sit back on
No,
this
I'm
one.
kidding.
Let you
I'm
just
messing.
slap each
I'm messing.
other
I'm glad,
around.
I
God.
said at the time, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
the
enjoyed it.
sound design, the
don't.
environments, the
glad
graphics,
you enjoyed
the way that the necromorphs exploded or that the skin comes off before you take out their bones.
Yeah.
I loved every single second of it. I played it through on its max difficulty with no saves. It was a real heart-pounding kind of playthrough, but I enjoyed it and treasured it. And the moment it ended, I went straight back and played Dead Space 2.
Yeah.
I was like, that was awesome. So yeah, one of my favorites of the year for sure.
Nice. My number 5, which I'm awarding best comeback, is The Whale. by
Nice,
Darren
Brad
Aronofsky.
Fraser.
Was that last year?
It
Yeah.
was 2023. It's one of the first movies I watched last year.
Yeah,
January. Me and because it's same again where it'd come out in 2022.
That should have been on my top 10 without a doubt.
It's absolutely.
I should watch it. I haven't got around.
Yes, you
Oh
should.
god, you so.
Oh, it's
should,
so
man.
good.
It's
I don't need to.
God, how did
Brendan
I
Fraser.
forget Whale?
I've loved Brendan Fraser since I watched him in Encino Man. You tell me a movie's got Brendan Fraser in it, I'm like, it's going to be good. I don't need to watch it.
What?
Okay.
Even fucking Mummy
It's
with a Dragon
strange
Emperor.
theories for someone who reviews
Mate,
movies.
I'm
It really is weird. But
I'm
okay.
amazing. I know.
It
It's
was
really weird.
it was based on a play, and it's basically about if you don't know, about a severely overweight man named Charlie who's estranged from his daughter.
Yeah.
And when he's given a bad medical prognosis, attempts to reconnect with her, which is also the plot of The Wrestler.
Yeah.
Just saying, Darren.
Yeah.
We saw it, you know. Yeah, okay, we have talked about it before. It's a wonderful performance from the entire cast, which totals, I think, 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
5 if you include the pizza delivery guy, I think it is. I love movies that are set in one place, which again, obviously, it comes from a play, and that's a lot of time plays are generally set in one place, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was this great, mature handling of a really, of the subject matter itself. I watched it with Donna. I mean, I was devastated by the end of it. I was in pieces, so fucking teared up. It doesn't help me that I can never remember her name, but Max
I
from
agree.
Stranger Things.
She was a standout in that as
She was
well.
so
It's not
good.
Sissy Spacek.
And it's
No.
definitely not. No,
It's definitely 2 S's.
but she reminds me of my daughter so much because she's got such the same attitude and the same face when she says certain things that I really sort of like. It really hit me hard watching those two interact with each other. It's easy to say how good Fraser is in it, considering he manages to pull a fucking Best Actor award out of it.
Yeah.
And what was really well deserved was their award for Best Hair and Makeup, because you can't see that that's a fat suit.
No.
Yeah, it's seamless. Yeah,
It's honestly
It's
seamless.
fucking incredible. It's.
I mean, he was a big guy anyway, hadn't he?
Sadie Sink.
He put a bit of weight on because of how old he is.
Yeah,
Middle-aged spread, but Jesus.
But that's the thing. He put when I'd seen him before the whale, he put some weight on because of some of the stuff he'd gone through, and I thought, oh my god, he's put on some weight. Then you saw him in the whale, and you're like, oh fuck!
Did you think it was real?
Jesus! And then people were like, no, that's just a suit, and you're like, oh wow, that's really done well then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know.
It was, and absolutely, again, one of my favourite movies, performances of the year.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Without a doubt. Yeah, it should have been on my list.
Brain tissues,
I
it'll
forgot.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
It'll fuck you up.
Right, so fours. We're on
Fours.
fours now. Right, like I said, another callback to last year. This was more of a moment that happened that I still couldn't believe happened. Either of them happened, but they did, and so then I have to just recognize that they did. So I'll kind of use a comic book title as well to call them out as well. The Death of Bray Wyatt and the Return of CM Punk. For those of you who don't know, obviously massive huge wrestling fan, and last year we lost Wyndham Rotunda, the guy who plays Bray Wyatt. He'd struggled for a long time with self-esteem issues, his mental persona as well. He'd been just wanting to be this great wrestler because he comes from second generation of wrestling family, and so obviously he just wants to do his family well. He just wants to do well, and that was obviously in the world of professional wrestling, when you're live on TV, some things hit, some things don't. The Bray Wyatt character really stuck, but he just didn't get the push that he was supposed to or should have had. And then instead he became the Fiend, where he put on this mask and he was kind of being the new Mankind / Undertaker character. But it just still wasn't hitting home. Maybe that was because of the bad writing or the direction of Vince McMahon. We'll never really know. But he'd lost a good friend before that, Brody Lee, who moved to AEW and then passed away during the COVID incident. And he was just trying to get himself back on track, really. We were expecting him to be in the Royal Rumble. We were expecting him to maybe go into WrestleMania and do really good matches.
He'd done a return at Survivor Series, hadn't he? Yeah.
And instead he passed away at the age of 36. Which, we've said it before, it's no fucking age.
No.
60s and 70s, I think, is a fucking age, because you've already been here for
Just to
50
be clear,
years.
it was a heart condition. It wasn't like he didn't take his own life. Or
No, he
anything.
didn't. It was a heart condition, possibly born by COVID, all these other things. He was such a wonderful man. You see videos of fans interacting with him and how they just loved how he took the time to actually be with the fans and get with them and things like that. And he was just on the start of another rise. I swear they were going to get another story going with him, and he was going to be back in the ring, and he was going to fucking kick ass, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. On the other hand, we got the return of CM Punk. Now, CM Punk is a person in the wrestling world that I never thought I'd ever see fucking come back. Ever. You know, but things don't happen. Paychecks don't start coming in. And all of a sudden, you've got to go back to what you know best. And CM Punk knows how to wrestle. He returned to All Elite Wrestling, AEW, which I didn't see as a shock because he wasn't going to go back to WWE. And so he went back to AEW. And he was in a bunch of matches. He was a little bit rusty. He wasn't as fluid as he had been when he had been back in, what, 2000 was it 2007?
He was away for 10 years.
Yeah, 2007 to about 2013 he walked away from. He'd been on the independent circuit. This guy is good. They were chanting CM Punk in his ECW matches on WWE. People knew who the fuck he was before he even got the title on his belt. Then he leaves AEW. And then he turns back up in WWE. Now, I know for a lot of people...
He was fired from AEW.
What, fired, ripped up his contract.
He was fired.
Oh.
I know a lot of people, they're like, oh, Ian, we don't care about the wrestling drama. Well, that's fine. You don't have to. You can go and sit in your little corner and do whatever it is that you fucking enjoy. I enjoy wrestling. I enjoy the fucking dynamic of wrestling. And to see CM Punk return to the place that he never... what he said he was never going to return to, and be in business, not with Vince McMahon anymore because Vince is out. He's back in business with Triple H. And I swear there must be conversations going on where the two of them are like, this is what we want to do. This is where we want to go. This will work. Let's not do this again. We need to make the next generation of wrestlers not have to go through all the shit that we had to go through. Triple H went through a lot of shit. CM Punk went through a lot of shit. The two of them know it. But they don't want the next generation to go through that. CM Punk's about to go into Royal Rumble fucking tonight. If you're listening to this in a couple of weeks, obviously it's not tonight. It's tonight for us, not for you. But he's going in there tonight. How's it going to go? I don't know. I need to fucking see it. I need to see how he interacts with Cody Rhodes. I need to know what happens at WrestleMania this year.
Need to actually see him do something.
Oh.
We haven't done anything since he's been back.
really?
That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
No, he's done
That's
nothing.
it. He's done a few promos, but those promos have been fire. That one with Cody Rhodes, I'm more the American Dream than you, and I'm more CM Punk than you are.
Yeah, that was a good back and forth.
That's good build up. That's good build up because once you get into, if those two go into the ring and become the final two, and then Lex Luger, Bret Hart themselves over that top rope, nips.
Oh. Alrighty. My number 4 is Resident Evil 4 Remake. It was a great year last year for remakes.
That's how you do a fucking remake.
Hell yeah. I think the Resident Evil 4 Remake might be the best Resident Evil game to date.
Yeah.
I've always said I've been a staunch defender of Resident Evil 1 Remake. I think that one is outstanding, and it set the benchmark for how to remake games.
Yeah.
And then obviously Resident Evil 2 Remake, great. Resident Evil 3 Remake, it has its,
moments.
It wasn't the full remake. It felt like it was rushed and it was missing lots of parts.
Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed it. And then Resident Evil 4 Remake, amazing. Which is why I'm like, okay, Capcom, keep making mainline entries, keep doing remakes. You've still got some remakes, some games that you could. Code Veronica, Resident Evil 5.
Yeah, Code
6.
Veronica needs a remake.
Absolutely fantastic. Gameplay, graphics, music, they overhauled
tight,
it so well. The gameplay is buttery smooth. It's one of those games that even when you finished it again, you're like, I'm going to play something else, and it feels inferior.
Yes.
To Resident Evil 4 Remake. So yeah, absolutely.
Fucks up,
it's
that's
the
a
reason
remix.
why Resident Evil 4 for me just pinched Dead Space in my placement because I didn't know which way it was going to go, but I spent a longer time with Resident Evil 4 than I did Dead Space.
You did,
and I
yeah.
still enjoy watching streamers play Resident Evil 4, watching them no damage run, watching them master that game, and I'm like, it's just a joy. It really is.
Absolutely. My number 4, which wins the award for Best Villain, is Luther, Fallen Sun.
Oh, nice.
Which is a feature-length movie on Netflix. So it's an adaptation and continuation of the series. I believe it was BBC, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
BBC,
Luther, yeah. Starring Idris Elba. And also adding as the villain, which isn't a spoiler because it's Luther, so you find out who the villain is straight away.
Yeah.
It's more about the chase.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis. who is he's a gruesome serial killer that's haunting London while Luther, after the last season, sits behind bars. John breaks out of prison to bring him down. This is like, I wrote that this was kind of like a dark audition for Bond versus a Bond villain in this movie.
Okay.
This is like Idris Elba showing that he could absolutely smash it as Bond, and Andy Serkis just being the most frightening motherfucker I've ever seen in
Is
my
he
life.
ever not the frightening
Dude, you really got to watch this to see the kind of shit that he does. I mean, essentially, he is, to say he's a psychopath is one thing. He's vile. He's devoid of feelings. He's very sort of like Moriarty-like as well, I thought. The film addresses like incels and, that violent sort of like, behind computer screen culture.
Right.
Again, it's mostly about the chase, which is watching Luther having to with no resources, also being pursued by the police, trying to catch him. The supporting cast is great. There's a couple of pullbacks from Luther. The new sort of like chief, she's amazing. She's got her daughter and she gets involved in it as well. The ending is a little bit comic booky and a little, like the final sequence is a little bit like no way that happened.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it mixes a bit of Saw in there.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of like, kind of the Condemned style. There's basically, a lot of bidding on
Beating
the
homeless
internet
people
for,
with
like,
baseball bats.
Kind of, yeah.
Or
Yeah.
stuck in
That's
elevators.
Yeah, or stuck in elevators.
Stuck in elevators.
Indeed, yeah. It's again, it's two of my favourite performances of the year, and
For both Idris and
dude,
Andy
absolutely,
Serkis, yeah.
it's just worth the price of admission for Andy Serkis alone.
Nice.
Like, you forget, like, that's a scary man. It's so scary. It was great. Me again, one that me and Donna both watched and could not stop watching. We couldn't
Wow.
wait to finish it.
Yeah. Nice.
Uh,
Ian, you're number 3.
My number 3. This is a shout out to my son, Dylan, who is turning 15 this year. So that's how old we fucking are at the moment, man. My son, just before Christmas, he'd made up a Christmas list. And so we were getting all the stuff prepared in. And then all of a sudden, my wife turns to me and says, he wants a guitar. And I was just like, he wants a fucking what? We've just spent money on the shit that he wanted. He wants a fucking guitar. And she's like, well, he's put an acoustic guitar on his list. It was only 50 quid with the case and the plectrums and strings and
Yeah, it's
all
a
the
starter
stuff.
kit, isn't it?
And I was just like, okay, yeah, it's an extra gift. And while I was writing this list, my top 10 list, I hadn't put Dylan guitar on the list. I was working my way down, but I stopped. And like I said, I had a couple of beers in my hand. I was watching wrestling at the time, and all of a sudden I could just hear this gentle guitar strumming. I'm like, where the fuck's that coming from? And it was him. He was sat upstairs, and he has been taking the time in his own time to watch YouTube videos, to read things online. He's learning the...
I love how you bought him a guitar and then was like, where's that fucking guitar?
He's
It's in the fracking house.
the cool thing is, like I mentioned to him about listening to music. He doesn't want to listen to it. He's picked up like the tune from Hello Neighbor that plays through the menu, which is an acoustic guitar.
That's great. That's really
he can
great.
Play that tune. There was it, the Outer Wilds.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
never played it, but
He's playing the tune.
He's learned the tune
That's
from that
sweet.
to that, and it's
Best way to start. Yeah.
and it's only been like a month from Christmas. So like, I want him to do more. I of course I want him to be the next, well, not the next Kurt Cobain, but at least close to Ned Sheeran, so he can make millions of pounds and fucking do it. But the fact he just enjoys it, listening to him just there gently strumming. I can't play guitar. One hand doesn't work with the other. I kill with these hands. I don't play guitars.
On a Switch.
Yeah. So to hear him and know that he's taking a gift, like as a parent, you always want to buy somebody a present and to get a lot out of it. So when I bought Alan Wake for Gary and he told me he fucking hated it, I was really heartbroken. And then a week later he told me he loved it. So I was like, woohoo, yeah! It's the same with my son. I wasn't too sure he was going to get into it, and then to hear him just sat there, just chilling, playing with it, I'm like,
That's really awesome,
fucking,
dude.
that's a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well, speaking of moments, my number 3 is Star Trek Picard, Season 3.
Nice.
Now, if you'd have told me after the first 2 seasons that Season 3 would be on my best of list, I'd be like, out of your fucking mind.
We should go back and listen to the old podcast.
Yeah, right.
Because Picard Season 1 and 2 was dreck. It was the worst. It was painful. painful.
You watched every episode.
My dad is a Star Trek fanatic, and he was just like, I cannot watch Picard anymore. He was like, it's ruining Star Trek. I was like, yeah, I know, Dad, I know. I was like, but Dad, please listen. Watch season 3, and he was like, well, I'm not watching season 3. Like, please, Dad, do. Like, if you love The Next Generation, watch it, because it is the Star Trek show that we wanted and needed after some terrible TNG movies. I say terrible, you know, they're okay.
Yeah. Generation is First Contact.
It has such a great story. It has great villains. It brings back the ensemble, and the final 4, like the first 4 episodes are like a movie. The middle 4 episodes is like a movie, and then the 2-part ending. It has so many great nostalgia moments from TNG. Having all the cast together, and if you've not seen it yet, there are some moments towards the end that I was teary-eyed. I was like, I cannot believe this is happening. I'm so happy. And when it finished and the music was playing, I was like, I am so happy that I got to see this, and that all the actors were still alive to do this, so that it actually ends similarly to how the show ended all those years ago. So yeah, Picard season 3, phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah, I loved it.
My number 3 and best video game award goes to Spider-Man 2.
I knew it was going to be.
Of course it did.
It weren't fucking Dead Space.
Well, a lot of the reason is because, I mean, to be fair, it's the game I spent the most time playing last year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I put the most amount of time into it, which ironically was it was like 25 hours. Yeah, probably a bit more once you were out, like just fucking around after the game, but you know. Again, you know, Insomniac's sequel to their incredibly successful Spider-Man franchise, introducing the ability to use both Peter Parker and Miles Morales in a joint adventure that includes having to battle Kraven the Hunter as well as the symbiotes. If you've played this game, anyone who's played this game, that Kraven the Hunter movie is just gonna fail, because fucking Kraven is a boss in this game. It's so good. Insomniac decided to kind of reveal that Venom wouldn't be Brock ahead of the game. I won't spoil who it is, but it's not, you know, Eddie Brock in it. Personally, I enjoyed the way that they sort of like played it into the story of Peter and his adaptation to fight with the black suit when he does eventually get it, which again you've all seen in the trailers. I mean, New York's bigger than it, you know, than previously. You got new ways of traversing. You know, there's some great custom swing options as well. I know a lot of people say, it's the swinging is a little too automatic for some people. But again, I changed a few settings and it's like, fucking, you just feel like Spider-Man, dude, zipping around. It's phenomenal. Best looking game as well. The flipping between them is seamless. You just flip between Miles and Peter, and for the most part can complete whatever you want with either character. There's a few submissions that are only for Peter and same for Miles, but that doesn't detract. In fact, it adds to it.
Nice.
The fast travel, whereas before you had the you'd see him on a subway. In this, as you unlock regions, fast travel by doing activities in that region. And I mean, you zoom into a point in New York and go fast travel, and Spidey just zips into it in an instant.
That's nice. That's
amazing. Nice. So that's great. And the combat is like, again, the combat's kind of like, you know, it's about the same. I'm like, yeah, if it ain't broke, it was fucking great in the first one.
Right,
like, carry on with it. So I really enjoyed the combat. MJ's missions are back, which was the biggest complaint from the first one. But at least she's got a bit more to do, and they're a bit more aggro this time. I quite liked them, actually. The third act is basically an almighty boss fight that just delivers. You know, from a huge chase through New York with the Lizard to obviously taking on the symbiote themselves, getting to play as Venom for a small portion of it, which is fucking just brilliant. And then getting to see the the evolution of Peter's character through the suit, and also the way Miles has to grow up in it. It was great. It's
nice.
Like, you know, probably like 22 hours of, you know, actual gameplay, and then like a few hours afterwards just mop up and get the platinum. It's an easy platinum as well, but I just found myself just turning it on, swinging through the city, doing random tasks afterwards, beating people up. And they've also added some features as it's, you know, gone on, so like New Game Plus. I don't know if you've got the ability to replay the bosses. You might have now. It's top tier. Fucking, you get to play Spider-Man.
He loves Spider-Man.
Yeah, one of my favorite superheroes of all time.
It's just a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I remember when me and this motherfucker were arguing that you couldn't, in Spider-Man the animated series on the PlayStation 1, you couldn't actually go down to the city. And then Spider-Man, the new movies
He
came
was
out.
zipping to nothing.
Spider-Man 1 and 2 came out, and we were like, you can go on the street!
Dude, Spider-Man 2, the video game was fucking
phenomenal.
Yeah.
My number 2 is a shout out for Gary and myself, because last year...
I beat everyone else on Ian's list.
Well, calm down. He's put
Yeah,
himself in it as
I
well.
haven't done number one yet. I haven't done number one yet. Last year, we finally finished off, well, until they've released a fucking another one, our Halloween series, which we had started back in the day because we thought it would be a good idea to do all the Halloween movies for Halloween. And then it just became a fucking series of Halloween movies. And as the years went on, and then we got the David Gordon Green movie, with Halloween 2016. Yeah, 2016?
18.
I always get that number wrong. And that was really, really good. And so we had to review that one. And then Halloween fucking Kills came out. And we were like, for fuck's sake. And then Halloween Ends came out. And it was...
We were like, thank God. It's done.
like, I did not want to do Halloween Ends, the review, because I fucking hated the movie. And then Gary had done all the Saw editing. Like 9 fucking Saw movies. And we were still reviewing films.
And then they were like, here's
And
Saw
I
10.
I was like, fucking cunts. But while we're doing, every summer we do our Halloween series of movies, but we're also still recording our weekly ones. So we're doubling up every year.
Or tripling a 3 a week or more,
yeah.
4 a week sometimes.
And so Gary had gone through 9 fucking Saw movies. And by that point, he was like, bruh, I'm fucking done. If I have to see fucking Tobin Bell's face or some gore or some shitty tape recording, I'm done. Do you mind doing Halloween Ends? And I was like, yeah. And I can't remember what film you did, but whatever.
Mannequin.
That was right. He was so fucking...
I was editing Mannequin. I was like,
so happy doing Mannequin. And I took Halloween Ends, and the review, obviously, if you've seen it, it's like over an hour long. And the two of us sit there and we rip it apart and we take it apart and all this kind of stuff. And I sat there and I took one whole day during the summer to edit it. And I said to Linda, I said, like, I gotta get up, I'm gonna edit this film. It's really long, we ain't doing anything tomorrow. And that whole day it flowed. Now, not a lot of you get this, but when you're editing something, you're either in the fucking zone and everything just flows at you, the jokes, the timings, the cuttings, you know what shots you're gonna put where. And if the film doesn't flow, you're struggling. You're floundering. There's been times I've brought a review back to Gary and I'm like, dude, I've only done half of it because I've been really busy. I lost my mojo. I didn't get it. And Gary's had to pick it up. Halloween Ends flowed all the way through. All the jokes worked in, all the placements, everything we hated on just worked. And by the end of that day, I started at about 9 o'clock in the morning. Purposely, I started at 9 o'clock in the morning. I finished at 8 o'clock at night, finishing the last couple of shots and that final shot after the credits. And I was so happy. I was so done. Taking into account that this would be the last Halloween movie we have. We've reviewed every Halloween movie. We've edited every single one. And after 10 years of doing off-the-shelf reviews. You know, when we first started, people were like, oh, people aren't going to want to listen to you. They ain't going to want to... And we were just like, we don't care. This is what Gary and I do. We talk movies. Sometimes we hate on them. Sometimes we love them. Sometimes we'll fucking beat the shit out of each other because one of us is telling the other one that he's fucking wrong. You know?
That's because you haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But still, like when you two had your little thing. Well,
arguing colour with a fucking blind man.
Me and Andy, we're going to go see the Halloween movies. I'm like, well, why the fuck can't I come? Well, because it's a me and Andy thing. And we got that picture where the two of you are like, hey, we're so excited to see this movie. And then you're like,
Literally didn't say anything like that, by the way. We said, hey, we're going to go watch the Halloween movies, and you were like, fuck that.
Oh, no, I would have liked to have
I
seen...
ain't going to the cinema.
I would have liked to have seen Halloween, but you guys went on your own and saw it. But I didn't want to go see Halloween Kills because I'd wicked it. And it was like, this is shit. And I certainly didn't want to see fucking Halloween Ends. And it was shit. But, like I said, 10 years.
Good work, man.
10
Well done, guys.
years of doing it. It just all paid off. It was wonderful. Like, if knock on wood.
It broke a record actually because we had a premiere for it for the Halloween series on YouTube.
Yeah.
We had more than 200 people watching the premiere for it, which was a record for us.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like I said, knock on wood, knocking on my head. Like, we get all the way through 2024, but if something was ever to happen and things started to flounder, I'll always be able to take that moment and say, hey, you and I, we did the whole fucking Halloween movies in 10 fucking years.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, top that, bitches.
Well, my number 2.
It's also my number 2.
It's also your number 2.
We can do this
No,
together.
that's
yeah.
awesome.
We're
Well,
both
this
going
is
to take a number 2.
Yeah.
yeah. This is also my TV show of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it also wins Performance of the Year
Performance of the year. Yeah.
Wow.
for
Yeah.
Mr. Hamill.
Mr. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. It's the fall of the House of Usher.
There's no
if you've
better.
been listening to the podcast, you've heard me and Andy gush over this show. Mike Flanagan is fantastic. I love all of his work. I'm literally going to be hanging off anything that he releases any point in the year. The Fall of the House of Usher is a wicked show. I'm literally struggling for words. So I'm like, what are all the best words in the universe? Because that was this show.
Yeah.
Every
all the
episode.
fucking
is
blood,
awesome.
sex, gore, and storytelling.
Yeah,
Like,
it had everything. Like every episode built into the next one so well. The way it escalated, it was so dark and haunting. The atmosphere, the characters, the deaths. I'm lost for words. All I can say is
every
Mike
word
Flanagan.
that falls out of
watch
Bruce
it.
Greenwood's fucking mouth.
It was, yeah.
It's
It was so
just
beautifully written and then so
well
expertly
executed.
performed. I'm at a loss to describe it.
Well,
I should have written something.
similar to Last of Us. The storytelling aspect of sort of like, we're going to start here, you know, and then we're going to run this thread through every episode, and then you're also going to go to here with each different character and run that thread,
Yeah.
and then we're going to come back to this point and kind of
Yeah.
advance it a little bit for the next one. It's just masterful, man. It was
Yeah.
fucking masterful. We talked so much because obviously it plays into. I mean, synopsis wise, it's about, you know, these two siblings who build this empire of this pharmaceutical company. It runs very fucking parallel to Purdue Pharma, who, you know, Painkiller was based on. That's why we said we were trying to push these into one entry in a way.
Yeah.
You know, so, and it's about that coming crashing down due to the actions of a woman from their past, and I'm really trying to skate around not spoiling the fuck out of it, because
But
if you've not seen it, you really
They
should
are
treat
advertising that you should watch it. I should.
It's on
I keep-
Netflix, again,
I keep
like,
meaning to, but
85% of my list, it's on Netflix. So
part of me, I wanted to watch it, but part of me is just like, I'm good. But I do kind of secretly want to stick Linda in a room, go watch this, and walk out. Just feeling wait to see what happens to the wife.
She'll be there for 8 hours. Still going.
It's just top draw, man. The parallels that it pulls between, like, you know, real life situations, court drama,
Yeah.
and then it goes into the fantastical side of it, which is normally what causes the blood and gore. And it is gory. It catches
Yeah,
you. It
there's
catches you unawares with the gore in it. But
Yeah.
there just isn't a weak link in that show. There isn't like I didn't really enjoy that episode, or I could have got rid of this person. But I'm just gonna say that Mark Hamill again pulls one of the most off-type, frightening.
He needs his own spin-off show.
Oh,
That's
I
how
want
good he
to
was.
see like the history of this man brought to life.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, he's incredible in it. So I loved it. We talked about it straight away as soon as we saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Number one then.
Do you
Here
want me
we
to do my
go.
number one and then we'll go through?
Yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my number one, which wins Best Action and kicked John Wick out of my top 10,
All the way off your top 10.
is Extraction 2.
Oh yeah, he's gonna do his Chris Van
Extraction 2.
Extraction 2 was
Are you like...
the most fucking fun I had watching anything last year. Extraction 1 was an action movie on Netflix.
It came out
starring
during the early
Chris
lockdown.
Hemsworth, yeah, about a guy called Tyler Rake, who's an extraction specialist, and in that one, you see he's tasked with rescuing the son of a local sort of like politician.
Yeah.
It runs very similar to John Wick in the way that it's made by someone who was a stunt coordinator, much like John Wick.
Yeah.
So man, the one shots in this are just phenomenal. Extraction 2, again, we see the same, the thought dead Tyler Rake in this one.
Spoilers from the first one.
basically. He's charged with kind of well, it's not really a spoiler to say he didn't die in the first one. We thought he did when there's an Extraction 2.
Right, yeah.
He's tasked with extracting the family of a crime boss that are in prison. There's these two crime bosses that are brothers. One of them's in prison, and his family's in there with it, who happens to be his ex-sister-in-law. he's then charged with getting her children out.
Right, yeah.
There's a one shot. Say one shot. It's very cleverly edited, but there's essentially a one shot of him going into this prison, getting them out of their cell, and then having to get them out of the prison when a riot kicks off. And it's just some of the gnarliest fucking shit you will ever see. If you're a fan of action,
Okay.
if you had to watch that fucking Expendables movie, which was shot on a fucking green screen, to see Chris Hemsworth fighting his way out of prison, having himself set on fire, and then just going, fuck it, and punching people with his arms that are on fire, it will really wash that taste out your mouth.
Oh, okay.
It's,
I actually want to see this now.
It's rare as well to say easy. I think it was better than the first one because
it looked super generic.
Yeah.
oh
the first
mate,
one
it's
looks
that was the thing.
It does, and do you know what? The first one had a decent enough plot, but almost they kind of tried to like add too much of that plot in, where it was like, no, just have him fuck people up, just go on, keep doing that. In this one, they sort of they set you on the path. There is a good little, bit of a, not quite a twist, but you see like, changes coming within some of the characters.
Yeah.
But they just let it play through as this full-on action fucking epic, dude.
Okay.
He goes from the prison to like having to be on a train and defending that from helicopters to being in like this plush building,
So it's
where he's
literally
having a fight out from an elite,
piece.
unit. Man, there's a fight in a gym where there's stuff that's waiting to happen that you can. That's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna. It's like,
Okay.
it's
considering you've so
you know what?
highly
He's
praised
so utterly believable in this action
Yeah,
role
but remember,
as well.
this is the same guy who doesn't like Dead Space remake.
Yeah, I know, but
Contradiction in the universe.
I'm still willing to give this a go.
Yeah,
like,
give it a
if
go,
Andy's
give it a
right,
go.
it's
I
on the
would
list.
absolutely watch Extraction.
Yeah.
You still enjoy it just as an action movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
roll
There's
into
no,
the
you
second.
can't not enjoy it. It's
It's Chris
so
Hemsworth
well
as
shot.
well. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
I like Chris
Absolutely.
Hemsworth from those parts.
But then, like I said, the second one ups the ante so much. This is, I believe, it's penned by the Russo brothers.
Okay.
And this is one where
wow.
I'm like, right now that you've done this with Netflix, I'm like, fucking put the third one in cinemas. Just roll the dice, put the third one in cinemas,
Yeah.
because it absolutely deserves a cinema release.
Okay.
So I'm holding out. I'll watch as many of these as they want to put out, because just that again, that tactile, just it's gnarly as fuck. It's the best way I
Nice.
can put
Yeah,
it.
I'll give that one a
Absolutely
go,
loved it.
for sure.
My number one is a shout out to all the people that bought me games last year. Like Andy
You gotta buy stuff to get on the list, people.
Andy's been making fun of me. But I did actually bring my fucking Switch with me just in case anything got boring and I wanted to carry on playing the game that I've got in there at the moment. But like the one I wrote down majorly was the fact that they dropped Metal Gear Solid Collection, Master Collection, Volume 1 as they're calling it at the moment. They dropped that last year and it came out on the Switch. And I know what people think, but fuck me, the fact that this portable device, this Nintendo portable device, has got practically every single fucking great game I've ever liked and always wanted to go back and play on. And then all of a sudden they come along and they go, hey, here's the Metal Gear Solid series, portable. Now I already have Metal Gear Solid portable on my PSP, but the PSP's been dead for about almost 10 years.
I was going to say a
now.
decade, yeah.
So the fact that now all of a sudden I've
Don't
got...
worry, their new one doesn't look like it's doing much better.
I've got now Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear Solid 3 portable. Like Metal Gear Solid 3 portable is fucking just mind-blowing enough. Metal Gear Solid 3 is one of the greatest games ever made. Be able to sit there portable and move around, it's just mind-blowing. On top of that...
You really move around while you're playing it?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No,
I
seriously.
call bullshit.
I walk into the kitchen, get myself a beer, and I walk back in the front room.
What, whilst playing it?
Bro,
No, I'm asking whilst playing it.
yeah.
Okay.
Bro, I've played it in the bath. Right, yeah, fuck you with your PS5s and your fucking Xboxes and your top gaming
I
fucking
don't want
PC.
to play them in the bath.
Motherfucker, you
I'm a
want to
bath.
play it in the bath. You want to play your fucking...
I want to chill in the bath and
But not
watch
just,
something.
not just that. Like the wife got me the Metal Gear Solid collection for my birthday, and it was just the greatest gift for Christmas, for my birthday. Sorry. But on top of that, Andy went out and got me All Elite Wrestling Fight Forever for the Switch, and like I said, as a big wrestling fan, this game came out last year. It's not the best wrestling game out there, but I had to get it because I'm a wrestling fan. It goes in my collection. I've got stars in there. Like I said, Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, who are now in the Royal Rumble tonight, are still in AEW my game. They don't even work for that fucking company anymore. It's fucking...
Mate, there's never been a wrestling game that's not hit the deck just completely outdated. Like, whether it's music, gimmick, whatever. It was like, you don't have a beard anymore.
Gary got me Red Dead Redemption for my birthday. Portable fucking Red Dead Redemption. I've been playing it the last couple of days. I've been riding around Mexico. Oh my god. I came across some police guards, some Mexican guards who were about to shoot this guy, and I was so pissed off at how I was being treated by some of the Mexican people in the town. I just shot the guards and let the guy go. And then last night while I was playing it, there were some guards shooting at a guy as he was running away. So I went to lasso the guy to slow him down so they could catch up with him. They got pissed off at me. I had to shoot them.
Of course.
I had to.
It's Red Dead.
It's Red Dead. You know, the fact that, like, I got the Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remasters for the Switch as well. You know, I've got the Batman trilogy. I've been playing Arkham Asylum, Mark Hamill again as the Joker.
Yeah.
Portable. I could play Batman Arkham Asylum in the bath. I could go to the toilet.
Why are you obsessed with playing everything in the bath? I don't get
I'm
it.
obsessed with playing games that at one point you could never move away from your fucking TV. You know, you had to have it all hooked up on this thing. You can't move away from the room. Now I can get up and
Where the games are.
I can get in my car, and while the wife is driving to Sainsbury's, I can play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, or Metal Gear Solid, or Red Dead Redemption, or All Elite Wrestling, or fucking whatever the fuck.
Hey, listen, whatever stops you from having to talk to your wife, I'm all behind that. Yeah.
Well, that stops me from talking to anybody. It's fucking amazing, but I also want to, like I said, with the shout outs to the guys that got me all those gifts this year, I want to shout out to you guys as well for getting me those gifts. I know you always whinge that I always give you ideas, you know, but I thank you.
Demands.
Yeah.
Give us demands.
Thank you for getting me all
It's not an idea.
I want to thank you for getting me Red Dead Redemption. It's fucking just great to have it. Technology is surpassed to the
I
point.
knew exactly what you wanted.
Because he told you, right? Yeah.
And I can sit there
Here's an idea.
on my
Buy me
chair
this.
with my feet up, with my Switch in my hand, playing games that are just fucking iconically classic while watching shit on the TV. Mwah, amazing. Just amazing technology.
Oh man, I'm chuffed to be a part of your list, Ian.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
glad that we've made an impact on you.
Yeah,
here.
man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Glad you were thinking of us in the bath, dude. Sweet.
One hand on my Switch.
Alrighty, so
all
I'll
it
just
takes.
list off my 10 all the way up to my number 1. So it was Aliens Dark Descent, Talk to Me, The Holdovers, Evil Dead Rise, Moon Man, Dead Space Remake, Evil Dead 4 Remake, Star Trek Picard Season 3, The Fall of the House of Usher, and my number 1 piece of media of 2023, if you haven't heard me say it already, you know what's coming. It's Baldur's Gate 3. The game smashed records.
That's because he didn't play Metal Gear Solid.
That's because I didn't play Metal Gear
Not in
Solid.
2023.
I mean, I played it when it
Played
came
it
out
in like
25
96.
years ago.
Yeah, in like a reasonable time frame like the rest of us.
Baldur's Gate 3 is absolutely mesmerizing. It's turn-based RPG combat with the D&D rule set. Some of the best voice acting of the year, without doubt. The incredible music, the great storylines, even the side missions are interesting. Yeah, it suffered on the PC with some performance issues, especially towards the third act. But in terms of the replayability, the customization, the graphics, the music, everything about it is top tier. And it's a reason why other games companies were turning around going, well, don't expect us to be able to make games of that quality.
It's like, fuck
It's
off.
like-
You should be trying.
They have set the level for what to expect with this type of game. It is absolutely phenomenal what they achieved. Larian Studios, you know, they don't mess around. There's no day one DLC. There's no microtransactions. You get the full experience to the fullest that they can release, and they've done nothing but support and patch and build upon it, releasing extra content for nothing. They are an absolute treasure within the games industry.
Must be protected at all costs.
They absolutely should.
They did
They really
Divinity
should.
2.
Yeah.
Right? They did Divinity 2. I got it for the Switch over Christmas. Fuck yeah. Deep-based RPG, baby.
Nice. I'm glad you're finally getting around to playing it. 'cause
How
again, it is-
waterproof is that fucking thing, in all seriousness? Because if you drop that once in the bath, Jesus.
I'll have to buy a whole new Switch.
Alrighty, well, I think that completes our top 10.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a small break.
Yes.
I know you guys got to get to a Rumble soon, but we also have
Questions.
your Q&A.
Yes.
So we'll be right back. And welcome back to the third part of the podcast where you can see, or whether you can hear, I'm actually by myself. Iain and Andy had to rush off. It's not WrestleMania, it is Royal Rumble night. And so they did have some plans. We knew that because the podcast gap was so long, we had a lot of catch up to do, and our top tens, there was a lot we wanted to discuss and go over. So it was understandable that we did go over time. That being said, if you did post a question on Facebook or any of the other social media platforms, we're going to postpone those till next month. So only the questions that were asked today during the live recording of the podcast are the ones I'm going to answer now as best I can. If there are Royal Rumble related questions, I'll do my best to answer with the very little knowledge I have. And if any of the questions were directed at Iain or Andy, I'll try to answer for them, or I might save the question for the next podcast as best I can. So let's do this. The first question we have here is from Y2 John. Great for the question. Thank you for the question, John. As 2024 marks the 40 years of Freddy, A Nightmare on Elm Street, do you think a new Nightmare movie will release anytime soon? I think it's long overdue, and I have my fingers crossed. You know what, John? I've got my knifed, fingered gloves crossed too. Robert Englund has gone on record to say he's kind of done. Like, he doesn't have the energy to be able to, emote Freddy Krueger like he would like to, like he did in his prime. He thinks he's a bit too old to do it. I think he's still got one more good Freddy Krueger performance in him. I really do. I think he would enjoy it and relish it as much as the fans would. It has to be him. If they're gonna, Robert Englund's already got ideas. He thinks Kevin Bacon should be the next Freddy Krueger. I'm like, well, we love Kevin Bacon, but I think he's also a little bit too old as well, But yeah, it would have to be. We're not going to accept a replacement easily. We're just not. Like, Robert Englund is that character. They proved it when they tried to do Nightmare on Elm Street 2 without him. Like, we need that performance. They tried to do something different with it with the remake, and that didn't work. We want what we know, what we like. So it's a tough one, for sure. I don't think they should do prequels. I do think that they could move the story forward and go on. I don't want a sequel to the remake already. So it's a tough one. Now, I know a couple of years ago, the Craven estate, I think, got the rights back to Krueger, or to Freddy Krueger, or Nightmare on Elm Street, and they literally opened the floodgates to anyone out there with a script idea, for a film idea, for something related to Freddy, to bring it to them, and they might pursue it. We haven't heard anything. Now, maybe that's because the studios maybe don't want to touch it after the remake. Maybe they don't have the same faith in it that the estate does. So it's kind of in limbo. But at the same time, like, maybe it's better that it is left out. I mean, I would love another Freddy movie, but only with Robert Englund, so maybe it would be best left, because we've seen what's happened with the Hellraiser. The Hellraiser reboot was fine. I haven't done a review of it yet. I've only seen it the once. But Jason's in limbo. Halloween has been kicked around, and it's going to get kicked around some more. Maybe leave Freddy where it was. Maybe leave it where it was. Maybe it just won't work in a modern, audience. For a modern audience, it might not work. Only the original one, and I guess Wes Craven's New Nightmare were like the big horror ones. Like, 3, as much as I love it, it's my favorite one. It does go away from the horror aspect, maybe. So yeah, it's a tough question. I personally would love for another one. It is long overdue, but at the same time, like, maybe that franchise needs to end where it did. Yeah. Great question, though. Thank you, John. Alrighty, the next question is from Matt Midgley. Cheers for asking questions, Matt. This one is for Iain and Andy. If you can have a night out with a wrestler who has passed away, someone from the current roster, and a retired wrestler, who are you picking? I'll try to answer this one, Matt. I'm trying to think of wrestlers who have passed away. A night out with them. You might need to help me out here. Wrestlers who have passed away. Let me have a quick Google while I'm here. I mean, I might recognize some of them. Let's have a quick gander, shall we? I was going to say Ric Flair's still alive, isn't he? Because some of the ones, because I've watched The Dark Side of the Ring, and there's been some amazing stories on there, like behind the scenes of some of these wrestlers. I didn't have a clue what was going on, which is why I've always found it really fascinating. But you know what? Neo Nick has just written in the chat, Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero was amazing. He was such a talent. He would be a great person to go out on a night drinking with. Absolutely. Someone from the current roster. Are we talking wrestler of any kind? Because in that case, I'll take. Oh no, did Edge just retire? I don't know if Edge is retired yet, but I think he's about to. So I'd take Edge from the current roster. But I think he also left WWE, so I'm just talking wrestling in general, because I think Edge is still wrestling. Edge hasn't retired yet. It's okay, so we're taking Edge and Eddie Guerrero and now a retired wrestler. Now, I think Triple H is retired, so I get to use my answer of Triple H. So I'm going to take Triple H, Edge, and Eddie Guerrero. That's us going out for the night. That sounds pretty dope, actually. I've talked myself into it now, Matt. I'm like, let's go. Yo, my name is Duke the Doom Guy. Ian has joined us in the live chat. It's great to see you, Ian. I'm glad you made it home safe. Next question is from Richie Scarface. Thank you for the question, Richie. Hey guys, awesome podcast as always. My question is, if you were in charge of a Buffy reboot, film or series, who would you cast as the Scooby Gang? And would you bring back any of the OG actors as different characters? I just couldn't do it. If I was involved in a Buffy reboot, I'd be like, no. Stay in that same universe. I don't care how you go about it. Whoever you have to get the rights from. I mean, Buffy's definitely is over at Disney now, right? Because Buffy was 20th Century Fox. Or no, they were Warner Brothers? No. They ended up changing network. I'm not sure who owns Buffy at the moment, but I know that the Joss was playing around with the reboot of Buffy, set more modern. And then there was also the discussion of it being in the same universe, but kind of a retelling of the story again anyway. I was like, well, why call it Buffy then? I mean, I still rewatch Buffy from time to time. I was actually listening to Slayers. It's like the 8-hour-long audio drama, and listening to all those characters, those actors come back and give it their all. You know, Cordelia, Spike, Giles, Anya, Tara, Clem, and a bunch of others. You know, it's when I've been listening to them while I've been editing or doing something else, and like when they walk into the magic box and it's audio only. In my mind, I'm there. I see them. I know exactly where they're standing. I know how they're moving around. I think because Buffy was such a cult hit, it has a legion of fans behind it. Buffy, Angel, that universe, and we want to go back there. We really do. I've been a fan for it a long time. It's, you know, a new Buffy would not be aimed at me. Like, you know, I was growing up. I was in my teens when Buffy was out. It was perfect. So I would struggle maybe to gel with a new adaptation of it. That being said, I'd find it really hard to cast anyone because I think the casting originally of Buffy is so perfect, down to every single character, from the mayor, Faith, Giles, like all of the auxiliary characters, the main villains. You know, they were so good. Granted, like, one of the, you know, the first season of Buffy was episodic storytelling, so like it, you know, there was the later seasons of Buffy, it was like 2 onwards really, that broke the mold of television, where they were doing long season arcs, you know, without, you know, they had plenty of standalone episodes, of course. I mean, that was kind of mandated by the network, so that people could tune in and go, oh, it's just a random episode. I don't have to know what happened in the previous 30 episodes, you know? So yeah, I'd really struggle to recast Richie. Honestly, I would bring back the same cast, all of them that are still going. I know, like David Boreanaz has said he won't ever come back to play Angel, not in TV form, only in a movie. I was like, all right, calm down. It's unfortunate that you feel such a way about that character that you'd only do it in a film form. But I get it, I understand it. You played the part for long enough. But also it's the aging thing. Like, vampires don't age. Like, get some good makeup. Like technology and makeup is good enough. Fans would buy it. Though granted, the James Masters, who plays Spike, he's the one who starts to say, in the audio drama, he's the only one who I'm thinking, like, you sound a little bit older. You do sound a lot older, which is fine though. But yeah, a tough one to answer though, Richie. I'm sorry, I can't do a recasting for you. Because I just wouldn't. It's sacred. Buffy is one of my favorite shows of all time, so I just, it's sacrilegious for me to consider a recasting. If I had more time, I do apologize. Obviously, this Q&A is truncated because it's late and I'm on my own. Maybe if I had, we could break it down, but I would really struggle. Would you add anyone to the Buffy show? Any actors or actresses? That's a good question. I would add. I mean, I was going to say Nathan Fillion, but he was already the big bad. He was the first evil in the final season. I'm trying to think. Of course, some of my favorite actors in the world. Obviously, I'd get Bruce Campbell in there. I'd get Sam Rockwell in there. I don't know. That's a good question. But we're going to move on to the next one, though. We spent enough time talking about Buffy for a minute. But thank you for the question, though, Richie. Really appreciate that, dude. Alrighty. Next question comes in from Code Dude. Thank you, Code Dude, for the question. Quick one. What are your 3 most anticipated movies of 2024? Mine would be Dune Part 2, Joker Part 2, and Godzilla vs. Kong, or Godzilla X Kong. The new Empire, got to have a popcorn movie in there. My most anticipated movies are Alien, is it Romulus? The new Alien movie? Ghostbusters, I was going to say Afterlife, I mean Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and probably Dune Part 2. Although a Godzilla vs. Kong as well. Yeah, okay, I like my kaiju movie, so that one would be in there as well as a number 4, for sure. Even though everyone knows I didn't like Godzilla -1, but I'm there for Kong. Like, I guess I'm a Kong boy. I'm a monkey boy, not a lizard boy. Excuse me. Cheers for the question, Code Dude. Thank you. Let's see else what we got here. Next question is from Neo Nick. Neo Nick asks, big hello from NZ Broskies. First of all, thanks for another great podcast. It's great to see you all again in the new year. My question is, what's your thoughts on The Crow that will be coming out soon? Thanks again, lads. Thank you for the question, Nick. We have talked about this one on one of the other on a previous podcast. Of course, The Crow is an absolutely amazing film, culturally memorable, significant in the genre of film. Of course, Brandon Lee, amazing, son of Bruce Lee. Death on set made a big part. I can't think of anything like that since Heath Ledger, I guess. I mean, even though he wasn't killed on set, he died on the film. Absolutely amazing. The cinematography, the music of The Crow, of the original Crow, the performances, everything about it was perfect. They're like an absolute brilliant adaptation from comic book to film. All of the Crow sequels, yeah, they have their moments, but they mostly suck. So, only the original story really holds up. And all the Crow sequels are pretty much just remakes of that first one anyway. They didn't feel like sequels, right? Just felt like another Crow movie. And so that's kind of where I am with this new Crow movie. I'm like, it's just another Crow movie. It's not The Crow. It's just another Crow movie. That's how I feel about it. I'm going to watch it. I'll be curious to see what they do with it. It's a remake, of course. With movie remakes, we're always hesitant anyway. So we'll have to just give it a go. We'll just have to give it a go and see. But yeah, I'm reluctant, but I'm hopeful. If they get the music score right, if they get that cityscape right, and of course the lead performance. I hope they get it all right. But even then, they have to get all of the bad guys, like the gang. They've got to get them right, and they've got to do Devil's Night justice, And I mean, good luck recasting Top Dollar compared to the guy. I always forget his name, Michael Wincott. Him as Top Dollar, fantastic, So yeah, good luck trying to beat the original Crow movie. You're gonna have a hard time doing it, but I'm willing to see them try. Thank you for the question. Next question is from Unliving Weevil. Thank you for the question, Weevil. Hey lads, so glad I got in for the stream. My question is, have any of you seen Alpha Dog? It stars Justin Timberlake and Bruce Willis. It's based on a true crime story about a drug deal and kidnapping. Definitely one of my favourite films. Unliving Weevil, I'm sorry to say, I have not seen this movie. I've not even heard of this movie, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I do like Bruce Willis movies, and considering, well, sadly, we're not going to get any newer Bruce Willis movies, I'm kind of glad that I've got one to go back to. And I'm hearing in the chat that it's a hidden gem, and it's also got Ben Foster in it as well. And Ben Foster is a great actor as well. So Alpha Dog, that's one to put on my to watch list. Really need to get to that one. Thank you for the recommendation, Weevil. I will take that one as a recommendation and try and get to it. Alrighty, we've got one more question here, and this one is from Mr. Will Guitar. If you could put 3 John Carpenter movies together, which would you choose, and how would the movie play out? I'd have Mike Myers lost in the fog while the Thing makes replicas of everyone. Jesus, what a nightmare. Wow, I mean, I guess like the first thing I'm going to do is think of my top 3 John Carpenter movies, which is probably The Thing is number 1, In the Mouth of Madness, maybe Christine, or Big Trouble in Little China. I'm like, yeah, Christine's the demonic car thing. You can't really, there's only finite amount of stuff you can do with Christine if you're going to gel the other movies together. So if we go in Big Trouble in Little China, like we got a playing field in there already of, magic wizards and superpowers and ninjas and old mysterious Chinese lore. Throw the Thing in there in the Mouth of Madness. Oh yeah, like that's gonna be messed up. Sam Neill is starring. Sam Neill and Kurt motherfucking Russell are starring in this one, okay? And yeah. I mean, we could have Jack Burton as well. So would it, because we got The Thing and Big Trouble, would we get double Kurt Russell in one movie? This is great. With Sam Neill, which I love as well. And I'm sorry to hear that he's having medical issues right now. Yeah, you know what? Prince of Darkness would thematically probably blend in a little bit better, but I've gone wacky. I've gone wacky Big Trouble, wacky In the Mouth of Madness, and then super serious The Thing. Man, I just want to see two Kurt Russells in one movie now. I think that's a good point to end on. I do apologise that this Q&A is sadly quiet, or sadly short. Obviously, we don't have 2 more voices to fill in those questions. No Halloween, I'm afraid. Halloween is actually pretty low down on my favourites of John Carpenter. I know it's a sacred movie for sure, but yeah. I mean, I appreciate it, but it's not the Nightmare on Elm Street or the Hellraisers or the Jason movies, or I don't know. It's just one movie for me. The rest. No. Although I do have a soft spot for Halloween 4. It's been a while since I've seen it though. Alrighty, so I just want to say a huge thank you for everyone that did submit your question. If you did submit your question on Facebook, we do still have it, and we will postpone those questions to the February podcast. And because February is a short month, that podcast will roll around in no time at all. So once again, I just want to say a huge fist bump and thank you to everyone that tuned in for the live show of the podcast, and for everyone that's listening or watching this back on YouTube or SoundCloud or wherever it is that you listen to your podcast. And if you've made it all the way to the end of listening to this, maybe you put it on before you went to bed. I hope you're sleeping well. Maybe you're listening to this while you're on the way to or back from work. I hope your day was excellent. Thank you for choosing Off the Shelf to listen to. I hope you have a wonderful kick-ass 2024, and we'll see you on the next one.